You know that song?
Yeah, I know that song.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Yeah.
The boys are back. Sorry to Sky and Nathan Crowd. Gentlemen, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, man.
It's
How's it
Thursday.
going, my brother?
It means Friday is tomorrow.
Charlie, Friday is
It means
tomorrow.
Saturday is the next
Charlie.
day. It means that weekend, no happy Friday. Yeah, we can't wait, man.
Yeah.
Lots of things happening, eh?
Yep. So much is happening.
Today is a heavy news day.
It is.
For the first time since 2023, inflation has started rising again.
Hey.
Have we finished chopping the $600 million? Or
They haven't even finished reviewing the first tranche.
So why is inflation going up again?
And the thing about inflation is that's all the things that are going up is even shocking. The things, but I will talk about that. So many things happening as well. So start with the Ghanaian Times.
The Ghanaian Times says this morning, raising revenue from extractive sector. Ghana can bag 4.2 billion US dollars annually to resolve current economic crisis. That's the IFS making that projection. Now, there's some good news for fisher folk. Mavis Hawa Kumsun, who is the minister, is quoted here saying government has rolled out alternative livelihood program for 8,000 fisher folk during the close season. And then also something here about judgment in fresh start of Dr. Opuni case on July 3 and protecting existing forecasts to mitigate climate change. Or protect. They're asking us to protect so that we can mitigate climate change.
All right.
The Daily Graphic says media regulation. Sorry. Experts oppose more powers for NMC.
Why?
We'll get into that. Road maintenance resumes to address inconveniences. Bui Power adds 5 megawatt floating solar plant. EC sets October 3 for district level election. And farmer kills wife in front of their children. Such psycho stories.
No.
Anyway, on the back page of the Daily Graphic, Pharmacy Council cautions against purchasing from unlicensed dealers.
The Chronicle says crooks thwarting Ghana's investment drive as another worker allegedly steals 251,000 Ghana cedis from the employer. I'll tell you more about that. Also, NAPO assures constant supply of power. GIS officer foils attempted kidnapping at Amasaman. And then Ghana won't export lithium in its raw state. Never. Jinapo is quoted here saying.
Okay, the Daily Guide says D-Day for Aisha Huang. 3 children burnt to death. Fisheries Ministry cracks whip on illegal fishing. Opuni appeal judgments July 3. And pay or take PPAs cruel. That's according to the majority.
The Daybreak says OSP demands access to Ecom's platform. GRA officials are in panic mode. Also, Bamia files nominations Friday. And then something here that says that more than 75,000 kids in Ghana engaged in economic activity. And then Bagbin predicts Baumia versus Mahama for 2024. What is this?
It's a poster.
Yeah. The business finder, finally for me, restructure external debt swiftly. It has serious exchange rate implications. That's the IFS speaking.
Okay.
Malcolm supports girl child education. And we won't export green minerals in raw state. And there's a picture of Mr. Samuel Jinapo on the front page of the business finder.
Anchor newspaper says senior high school graduate with 5 A's, 3 B's goes into Galamsey after tapping palm wine due to financial constraints.
SHS graduate with 5 A's and 3 B's goes into Galamsey.
And this is
After tapping palm wine.
Charlie,
let's find him and put him in school.
Yeah, that's what we have to do.
His photo is there?
Yeah, the photographs are here.
Yes, I'm sure there are details in.
Are you serious?
Yeah, this is a very...
How old is he?
We'll
find out.
Inside the story.
Charlie.
And then also, East Assembly soaked in debt, giving NMC powers to buy dangerous for media. That's coming in from Pratt, Cabral, and others. And then there's a tragic story of a speeding vehicle killing a midwife at the Kolebu Konfanauke Teaching Hospital. And this happened at the
Sofo line area.
Yeah, that's right.
Meanwhile, Ghana East Assembly is doing something in the
They
country.
say that they are in debt. They can't pay their money.
Ghana East. Maba. Fred Javano. Ghana East.
And then finally, the business analyst says cocoa prices to be elevated in second half of the year. Inflation, as you stated, jumps marginally to 42.2% in May. Cost of borrowing to go up. Hey, how are we surviving in this economy?
Well, let me go online. CitiNewsroom.com. Supreme Court ruling on Quayson case West so far. Kweku Azan says. Meanwhile, Ministry of Roads says exercise restraint will fix roads destroyed by rains. So that's an assurance for you. Meanwhile, CPA, Consumer Protection Agency, accuses British Airways of charging Ghanaians a $50 illegal ticket fee. And then this story about the NDC, Mahama cannot be blamed for current energy sector debt. This is John Jinapo. Because Atachian says Mahama's energy agreements cost over $320 million for unused power. And then, as you read, COPEC says fuel prices will rise marginally next week in the next pricing window. Now, if you go to citybusinessnews.com, GRA has impounded container over alleged non-payment of duty. BOG warns against 97 illegal loan apps in Ghana. 97 illegal loan apps.
So people are...
So it's an app that you use to get a quick loan.
A quick loan.
And
they are 97.
It started from 1.
All of them
2,
are unlicensed.
3, 97.
And they're in the system.
Yeah. Still on City Business News, May inflation rises marginally to 42.2 after 4 consecutive months of decline. And then the British Airways story is also here. CPA is accusing British Airways of charging Ghanaians a $50 illegal fee. If you go to My Joy Online, they have quite a number of political stories, including Bagbin. He says, let your performing MPs stay long in Parliament to mature. Speaker advises constituents. Yes. And then NDC is accusing MPP of bookings about 64 hotels in Asin North. Look at the story. Mustafa Gbande says MPP has booked 64 hotels in Asin North and these environments with no occupants in them.
Who is saying Mustafa Gbande?
And then this is an interesting one. If most people are saying Dr. Baumia, I have to align with them. Chairman Sabusu, your man. He said if most people are saying Baumia, I have to align with them. So he's waiting for people are saying. He was speaking on PM Express. He says, I support the person that I see has the greatest competence and the greatest potential to win victory for us. I support the person that most people will support. So, I mean,
leader.
Yes. And then Charles Bishop says he doesn't mind being made Ghana's next sacrificial lamb. Charles Bishop.
Is that where the matter goes?
Yeah, he doesn't mind.
I didn't really my papa now.
Well, he and OSP, they will resolve their issues. Let me take you. So that's Charles Bishop. A couple of stories. Yeah. So those are the stories. I think let me just leave it here. You know, Tinubu is doing a lot of things in Nigeria. He has arrested their governor. He has also suspended their EFCC chairman over abuse of office. So he's doing Tinubu.
EFCC.
He's raised petrol prices by scrapping subsidies.
So he's showing that he's in power.
Charlie, so let's go into the details of the papers this morning. Where do you want to start?
I want to start from page 6 of the Daily Guide. This story struck me yesterday. 3 children burnt to death.
Oh, Charlie.
Now, 3 school pupils have been burnt beyond recognition by an inferno while they were returning from school on Tuesday afternoon. The heartbreaking incident happened when a commercial bus in which the children aged between 5 and 7 were traveling suddenly caught fire on the road. Sadly, people who live around the Adwenase to Hu main road in the Amansia Central District of the Ashanti region could not intervene. Now, according to eyewitness report, the commercial vehicle was loaded with a number of petroleum products and gas cylinders. So the fire spread at a lightning speed. And they gave details where the school bus driver, his vehicle developed a fault. He offloaded these 6 people, 6 pupils onto a commercial bus. Unknown to the school bus driver, the commercial bus had an engine fault and the bus caught fire as soon as the driver started the engine. And the disaster struck. 3 children were trapped.
A tragic story.
Let me tell you about inflation. May inflation has risen marginally 42.2% after 4 consecutive months of decreases. So inflation for May experienced a marginal increase, rising from 41.2 to 42.2. This means that the month of May general price level was 42.2% higher than it was in May last year. Month-on-month inflation between April and May this year was 4.8%. That's also an important statistic. Government statistician Samuel Nim disclosed that the main drivers, this is the main issue of inflation, were, guess what? Food and non-alcoholic beverages, which was about 52%, housing, water, electricity, gas, and other fuels, and then transportation. And then he was speaking to journalists at Kumasi Technical University. He stressed that the data from the GSS is credible as extensive research had been conducted. And now the most expensive region in Ghana is where? Greater Accra region.
Charlie, let's leave the regions.
I'm
throwing around.
So he gave that information. We'll talk to him later on.
Let's start with the economy. If you go to page 11, there's a story on the Ghanaian Times page there that says Ghana can bag $4.2 billion annually. And the story is actually by Asari Kinsley, who says that the government has been urged to focus on the extractive sector to raise revenue as part of efforts to revive the economy under the International Monetary Fund Extended Credit Facility Program, instead of relying on taxes. Now, the Institute of Fiscal Studies, an economic and financial think tank, said Ghana could raise more than $4.2 billion annually from the extractive sector to prop up the economy from the current crisis, which is more than the $3 billion government is raising from the IMF over the next 3 years as part of the ECF with the fund. Now, let's stay with the economy briefly, because we're told that the fisheries ministries is rolling out some alternative livelihood program for 8,000 fishers during the close season. Now, Cliff Ekufu says that the Minister for Fisheries and Aquaculture, Mrs. Mavis Hawa Kumsen, has said the alternative livelihood program rolled out by the outfit to cushion fishers during the close season will be scaled up to cover 8,000 fishers this year. Now, the alternative program, apart from directly supplying all affected persons along the entire value chain of the industry with household support, would also introduce them to other economic activities. Now, the alternative livelihood included training in masonry, carpentry, dressmaking, hairdressing, electronics, and auto engineering.
Okay, if you go to page 2 of the Business Finder, IFS, the Institute for Fiscal Studies, has advised a speedy restructuring of the external component of Ghana's public debt stock, since, quotes, the external debt component has serious exchange rate implications and is the main trigger of the current macroeconomic instability. Now, the IFS made this statement when it addressed journalists in Accra as it communicated its review of Ghana's extended credit facility program with the IMF. Now, you had Dr. Said Boachi speaking.
Let me give you two quick economic stories. Fuel prices to go up marginally in the next pricing window, according to COPEC. And this increase has been attributed to the depreciation of the cedi against the major currencies. This is citibusinessnews.com. So there will be a modest increase ranging from between 2 and 5% compared to current price. Now, the other one is that BOG has said that there are over 97 illegal loan apps in Ghana. Now, some of these apps, or all these apps, are supposed to have had a specific type of license, and then they are offered on the market without prior license or authorization from the BOG. Some of the names are Flash Cash, Accra, GH Lending, Mo Loan, Rapid CD, 100 CD, CD Help, Masedi Consult, CD Boom, Cash Loan Pro, Air Cash, Aquaba Payment, For Credit, Ghana Lending, Match Loans Ghana, Musia, Momo Cash Loans, Prime Loan, Easy Access Loan, Cash Pal Online Loan, Happy Loan, Money Loan App, Mega Credit, Lemon Wallet, Coco Cash, Cola Cash, Cash Cola, Coco Cash, Cola Cash, Cash Cola. Coco Cash.
Now I use it to buy Coco.
Cola Cash.
You use it to buy cola.
Cash Cola.
Cash
And then
cola.
Cash Star.
And
And then Bit Cash.
then Coach Cash.
And then You Cash. And then Fun Cash.
Oh, sorry.
And then there's You Cash. My best one.
You know what,
There's one called Fufu Credit.
Now you use it to buy Fufu.
When the governor comes to give them 12 glasses each. Fufu Credit. Charlie, seriously, True CD, Quick Cash, Bosiapa, Derived Cash, Eagle Cash, Cash
How are
Wave.
these
Charlie,
entities all in existence?
no, my favorite is Fufu Credit.
Charlie, brothers, you the folks listening, please, if you have dealt with
Go
these
to our website, the whole list is
yeah,
there.
you should send us messages on 054998699.
If it's serious matter.
What's your experience with
Coco
them?
Cash.
No, the Fufu credit be deadly. You take it to Agbamami. I just blew your time, man.
I'll give you the full list later.
Okay.
I want you to take me to the 7 is the student the anchor paper.
Okay, let me take you to the anchor on the,
Yes.
that 21.
That's a very
year old.
important
Yeah,
story.
it's a very important
Full
story.
credit.
Yeah, the story is by Gifty Arthur in the Anchor page 2, and the story says the dream of a 21-year-old senior high school graduate to further his education and become a lawyer. Oh, this guy, let's adopt him. Appears to be at the verge of shattering because of financial constraints, forcing him to enter illegal mining operation, otherwise called Galamsey. Now, Stephen Coomson, such a beautiful name, who studied general arts in senior high school and obtained 5 A's and 3 B's in the 2021 West African Senior Secondary School Certificate Examination, WASE, had desired to pursue his dream career at the university. Prior to being enticed into Galamsey by a friend, the young man engaged in other menial jobs like palm wine tapping and bush hunting with his uncle as part of his hustle, but none of these could fetch him much.
Where is he? Where's the journalist? Can the journalist connect us to him? We need to find out more because it's a very good story.
Yeah, that's a very good story.
It's a human interest story.
Yeah, that's right.
5 A's and 3 B's.
Yeah, that's right. And they
very good.
published details of
What course did you do?
I did general
art
arts.
student.
Oh, Charlie.
Yeah, and he wants to be a lawyer. So I think let's help support this young man.
Even the anchor can organize donations for him. Now, the CPA is accusing British Airways of charging Ghanaians an illegal $50 fee. The Consumer Protection Agency has accused British Airways of charging Ghanaians seeking to pay airline tickets an additional $50, insisting that the extra fee is illegal. The CPA slammed British Airways in a statement and asked the firm to stop the charge with immediate effect. CPA's attention has been drawn to the illegal practice by British Airways with regards to paying for your airline tickets with cash at Standard Chartered Bank. And Standard Chartered Bank have decided to charge the $50 for paying off your ticket at their branches. This is an illegal practice and we are urging BA to stop it immediately, CPA said in a statement. Now, Citi News have tried to make contact with Standard Chartered Bank. They said they will issue a statement on this. We have also sent a message to BA for their side of the story. They haven't responded yet. Okay. But the CPA is alleging that the charge is part of an agreement between the airline and the bank, stressing that the passengers should not be caught in the middle of any agreement or arrangement between the two firms. Yeah. And they say per their investigation, this is an illegal payment which should not be allowed to go. So we are waiting for a response from the bank and also from the airline.
All right, let's do some road stories. Page 20 of the Daily Graphic says road maintenance resumes to address inconveniences. Now, the Ministry of Roads and Highways has assured the public that measures are being put in place to repair critical sections of roads which have gone bad across the country. A section of the public has expressed concern over potholes and gullies that have developed on roads, including construction sites of stalled road projects as a result of the recent heavy rains. The ministry said maintenance works were underway at some locations, and they also explained that significant volumes of work were being done to expand the country's road
Which
network.
road are they fixing? The story is very long. Just tell us. Because Citi used to be saying that the government...
Well, it doesn't say.
But that's what we want to know. So what are they saying? It's like, we will fix the roads.
That's essentially what the road means.
Charlie, we need dates and times and places.
Yeah, Bernard. Yeah. Well, just quickly, let me draw your attention to this story on the front page of the Chronicle. Actually, details on page 3. There's a gentleman in court, just to summarize, because the print is bad. The name is Gideon McWilliam. He's 28 years old. And until recently was working with Grace Has Found Us Company Limited. According to this particular story, he apparently embezzled close to 251,000 Ghana cedis belonging to the employer. He's been put before court, and he's pleading not guilty to the charge. Now, we're told that the accused person during investigation offered his 2017 Hyundai Elantra unregistered salon vehicle.
So it means he stole the money,
which was valued at 80,000 Ghana cedis to defray some of the debt with the outstanding balance of 171,160. Now, the reason this is troubling is that, look, people are struggling every day to get a job. You go out of this office, people want to talk to you about jobs. When you get the opportunity, I'm not saying that he's guilty because the matter is before court. But I'm just saying that if you get the opportunity to work somewhere, please be honest about it. Don't go and rip off the employer. Everybody is hot.
I wanted to give you the chairman's story if you still want to
go on.
Yes.
So it says, if people say Baumia, then I'll go Baumia. But if people say something. So majority of the chairman's so has pitched camp with some 100 legislators who have thrown their weight behind the MPP flag bearer hopeful Dr. Mahmoud Baumia. According to him, his decision is born out of his ability to listen to the voice of the people and go in their preferred direction. Although the Swam MP did not emphatically say he has taken a side, he hinted that his choice was influenced by popular request. Speaking on PM Express, he said, I support the person I see has the greatest competence and the greatest potential to win victory for us. I support the person who has the greatest potential to win. Then he goes on to say, Dr. Bamia, what did you say? Many say has the potential. Well, I'm a leader. And so I go with what most people say. If most of the people say in my party, Dr. Bamia, I have to align with them. Meanwhile, today...
Our people say that Bolono Viekpe.
Is that a warning? Is that a threat?
That sounds like everything that a young man is talking about.
Understand what you said. Me, if I didn't understand what you said.
Bolono Viekpe. If you don't get heart, no follow the masses.
So to be a leader, I don't have to follow necessarily.
Don't let the head wag you.
And the tail should wag the dog.
The tail should not wag the head.
And you said it's Bolo.
Bolono Viekpe.
Thank you.
Yeah,
By the way, today on the Situation Room, we will be releasing the latest poll from MPP delegates on who is leading.
Okay.
So maybe when he watches that,
you should release the thing here.
No, it's still we are compiling the data.
Give us more.
You tell us.
No, it's a very close race.
Yeah, give me.
But you want to tell on the main show?
Yeah,
Just give it.
I'll give you the
As they are.
I want to give you two stories that I'm
You were about mere files on Friday.
Yes, I want to give you two stories. The president has announced a state-assisted burial for late Professor Martha Edu. Very, very good. No, I don't want to say state burial and state-assisted. President Akufo-Addo has announced a state-assisted funeral for the late Professor Martha Edu. The writer, considered one of the country's finest, died last month after a short illness. At a meeting to officially inform the president of her demise, the family of the late writer said the funeral rites will begin July 13 and end on 16th July.
Yeah.
And the president says he's happy with the arrangements and that the state will assist. And we know Martha Edu, born 1940 in a place called Abiazi Chiako near Salt Pond. And then she was famous for a number of plays and books. Anoa being one of the most highly rated ones, went to Wesley Girls High School, University of Ghana, Legon. Dilemma of a Ghost being another of the important books she wrote. Second story that I think is interesting to just highlight, Asante is to mediate in the Boku conflict. Asabi was talking about this earlier in the news. So, and I think this is a good thing. Chief Transit Minister says that Asante has expressed optimism that he can help resolve the recurring conflict in the Boku area. And so the Chief Minister is making use of traditional authority to solve some of these problems, which I think is commendable indeed. And then I will give you a China story. So in Nigeria, Buhari is doing everything. So
we hope that
not Buhari, Tinubu. He has suspended his EFCC chairman over alleged abuse of office. He has arrested his governor of the central bank. But as we speak, Nigeria's currency, the naira, has plunged. Yeah, so Bloomberg is reporting that the naira has plunged as Nigeria lets currency break through control. Banks being told that money supply and demand will determine the rates. Nigeria has reset its monetary policy after sacking the central bank head. So they're trying to do a fixed rate. They are allowing the rate to float. So that's, and then the other story about China is that China's economic recovery has weakened because of two things. Industrial and retail activity have slowed down. You see, I was talking about retail yesterday. China's economic recovery weakened in May as growth in industrial output and retail sales slowed down, putting pressure on policymakers to step up a stimulus. So you can look at retail sales and manufacturing to determine where an economy is going.
But thank you so much. The young man's details are received, so we'll talk about it now.
Yes, thank you, Sky. That was the newspaper review. Coming up next is the City Business News.
You know, Papa, see that? And it's rickety car. Hey, Papa!
Bobo, so how your engine now?
It is half man, half amazing. Thanks to Cause and you can feel better energy. Can't touch this. Charlie, guys, so Sancho's engine just died like that?
Yes, so.
Somebody managed to convince him that there is a better engine oil than Quartz. And he switched.
Sancho Panza.
Now, which engine oil can be better than Quartz? No other, my guy. Quartz with its age-resistant technology, it keeps your engine younger for longer. Now you know. Have you guys seen the new bottle design? It's superb. Quartz 9000 from Total Energies there improves fuel efficiency. Why do you think Mr. Mane and Logoso have taken the Quartz Nation movement World Cup like that? Hey, sorry. Chairman Mane. Quartz. Keep your engine younger for longer.
You can't touch
You've started your small business and have all these big dreams, but then reality strikes and there are so many things to do at once. What you need is the Ejapa account from Fidelity Bank. The Ejapa account gives your business a boost. It comes with a range of payment and cash collection options such as GHQR, mobile money collection, and mobile teller cash collection. You will also enjoy prompt FX supply, competitive interest rate on loans, and free annual insurance cover of up to 48,000 Ghana cedis for your business, plus a waiver on service fees. It's time to do good business with Fidelity Bank.
Dial *776*0# or visit www.fidelitybank.com.gh to sign up for a Fidelity Ejapa account today, because together we are more. Terms and conditions apply.
Fidelity Bank, believe with us.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show.
Citi Business News next with Nilate. Late, good morning.
Good morning, Bernard. Hello to you out there. Welcome to the breakfast edition of Citi Business News, proudly brought to you by MTN Goil and powered by our most comprehensive business news website, citibusinessnews.com. This morning, economist and finance lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School, Dr. Patrick Esumin, is pointing to the recent adjustment in utility tariffs for the marginal rise in inflation. Inflation for May 2023 has experienced a marginal increase from 41.2% in April 2023 to 42.2% after 4 consecutive decreases this year. According to Dr. Esumin, although the currency has remained relatively stable, the impact of these utility adjustments raises concerns about the overall economic situation.
It is not good news, I think, but it is somewhat expected. After 4 consecutive months of decline, we are probably beginning to think that, we are now finally on a sustained path of disinflation. So to see the inflation inch up, even though only marginally, I think it just tells us that there's a lot more work to do to stabilize prices a little bit. You get the sense that a lot of it is the pass-through effect from the recent adjustment in utility prices. But, because the currency has been relatively stable, it just tells us that all is still not well, and there's still a lot of work to be done. If you look at what has happened with the recent steep increases in tariffs for utility tariffs, you kind of expected that it was going to halt, the progress. So it's not too surprising.
That was economist and finance lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School, Dr. Patrick Esumin. Still on the economy, and the government is being encouraged to expedite the external debt restructuring and seek permanent debt service savings for impactful relief. Under the IMF program, external financing gap estimates indicate that Ghana's balance of payments and foreign reserves positions remain under stress, with the outlook substantially dependent on the country securing concrete external debt relief. Senior Research Fellow and Acting Executive Director of the Institute of Fiscal Studies, Dr. Said Boachi, says government needs to accelerate the external debt restructuring negotiations to further improve fiscal and macroeconomic certainty.
We believe that the restructuring of the external debt component of Ghana's public debt has not been given the agency that it deserves. Even though the underlying ECF-supported program has been given full approval by the Executive Board of the IMF, as stated in the introduction, details of the negotiations and the kind of savings to be made regarding the external debt restructuring are not yet known. As given that the external debt component of Ghana's public debt has serious exchange rate implications, the main trigger of the current macroeconomic instability, we expected the government and its IMF World Bank partners to pay greater attention to the restructuring of the external debt. We do not, therefore, understand why the restructuring of the external debt has been made contingent on the completion or success of the domestic debt restructuring. The estimated external financing gap, net of IMF and World Bank pledged financing of 10.5 billion over 2023 to 2026, suggests that a deep external debt restructuring is required, which underlines the need for the government to seek a speedy and impactful debt relief.
You heard Senior Research Fellow and Acting Executive Director of the Institute of Fiscal Studies, Dr. Said Boachi. Away from that, and some forex bureau operators have attested to the marginal stability of the cedi, although they expect a further stability in the coming days. This comes at a time when the local currency recorded a marginal gain of 0.43% in the retail market. However, the cedi has depreciated against the pound and the euro. And Citi Business News has been interacting with some forex bureau operators on business activities following the currency's performance.
In about 2 weeks now, the rate has been a little stable, but due to the Hajj people are going to Mecca, I think the rate has started going up a little, but not much, and so that's why you see the rate has gone up to 12 cedis. But it was a bit stable in about 2 weeks' time.
As it is right now, we can say the city is quite stable for about a month now. Right now, it's about for a month now. It's been quite stable. But as to whether it has gained some strength, anyway, they have a way of. But with regards to our market here, we'll say it's quite stable. We say it's quite stable. And for instance, the US dollars has been quite stable, but the pound is up. The euro is a bit up. And the other currencies, they've also been stable. But the US dollars, okay, we hope that it stays where it is or it gets better. But as it is right now, we'll say it's a bit stable for now.
Those were some forex bureau operators. Now, cassava production in the central region is set to receive a major boost as the Ghana Atomic Energy Commission moves to support cassava growers and extension officers on using agricultural technology in maximizing production. Director for Biotechnology and Nuclear Agriculture Research Institute of the Commission, Dr. Michael Osai, is urging farmers to come on board to enhance cassava production in the region.
What I would like to tell our cassava producers is that the way we produce cassava in this country is the reason we are getting the low yields. And if you look across the world, our yields are the lowest. And one of the key things that we need to do is to begin to adopt science, technology, and innovation in our farming. And a lot of technology has been developed in not only in Binary, but in all the CSR institutions and in our universities on cassava systems. But the adoption rate is what is the problem now. So we would urge the Ghanaian farmer to look for these technologies. We will be going out to the farmers as well. We have demonstration farms, especially in the southern part of the country. We have about 6 demonstration sites across the country. One is in a village called Anumaobi in Bojasi, where we'll be on Friday to meet farmers and to meet the extension officers and talk to them about this program. So I'll urge them to look out for these technologies and adopt these technologies. If you have cassava sticks that have been circulated in the system for 30 years and more, we haven't had any replacement. And as they go through the system like that, they accumulate viruses, and these viruses reduce their yield potential.
Dr. Michael Osai is Director for Biotechnology and Nuclear Agricultural Research Institute of the Ghana Atomic Energy Commission. Now, the Chief Executive Officer of Busara Africa, Taka Awori, has stated that creating a conducive environment is critical to building a winning small and medium-sized enterprises team. She notes that this will ensure the success of the business, especially in current economic hardships. Taka Awori made these remarks on the Citi Business Festival 2023 on-air series on the topic, Winning Teams.
It's creating a conducive environment for them to thrive. As leaders, you have to set the tone for what needs to happen within other teams. So we talked about breaking silos. So having different departments start to work with each other. If they can see that within the senior management team, they are not working together, they are not a team, why do you expect the different, exactly. So the conducive environment means, one, you model it right from the top, but the broader organizational culture has to be one that's collaborative and rewards collaboration. It's not rewarding the divas, what did you call them, the ones who are always the prima donnas. If people start to see that that's what's rewarded in the organization, and collaboration is seen as...
That was the Chief Executive Officer of Busara Africa, Taka Awori. The full conversation is later this morning at 9 a.m. on the Citi Breakfast Show. This year's edition of the Citi Business Festival is powered by Citi TV and Citi FM in partnership with APSA and is proudly sponsored by MTN Momo MTN Business, and ZP with support from Gesal. On to the interbank foreign exchange markets now, where banks trade amongst themselves. The dollar remained unchanged and is selling at 10 cedis 98 pesos. The British pound gained 9 pesos and is selling at 13 cedis 95 pesos. The euro gained 6 pesos and is selling at 11 cedis 92 pesos. However, at some forex bureaus in the capital, the dollar is selling at 11 cedis 70 pesos, while the British pound is selling at 14 cedis 60 pesos, and the euro is going for 12 cedis 55 pesos. Let's now join Mark Jordan Sikanate of DataBank for the latest updates on the bonds market.
Investors exchanged a total face value worth 17.1 million Ghana cedis across limited segments of the new bonds in the first two sessions of this week. At the close of market session on Tuesday, the DataBank bond index advanced to 85.33 points with a weighted yield to maturity of 12.14%. On the money market this week, the Treasury aimed to raise 3.8 billion Ghana cedis across the 91-day to the 364-day bills. The uptake will cover estimated maturities worth 3.6 billion Ghana cedis.
That was Mark Jordan Sikanati of DataBank. And that does it for the breakfast edition of City Business News, proudly brought to you by MTN Goil and powered by your most comprehensive business news website, citybusinessnews.com. The business news returns at 1 p.m. with the afternoon's edition. My name is Ni Latte. Do have a good business day.
Want to feel energized for more? Fuel up with Super XP Ron 95 and Diesel XP high performance products from Goil. Our high grade fuel comes at no extra cost, but with more power. And our Diesel XP, it's low in sulfur, making it an eco-friendly option for your vehicle. Experience high performance and quality with our products. Available everywhere. Choose Super XP Ron 95 and Diesel XP for an energizing driving experience. Good energy.
If home is where the heart is, then let's go home, shall we? Let's go where the entertainment is, where the passion is, where the laughter is, and sometimes even the tears too. Let's go where we feel safe enough to share our opinions.
And send tweets.
Where we do that embarrassing little dance to our favorite song. Let's go home where the love, the care, and the joy live.
There's no place like home. Connect your home to super fast internet with affordable data bundles from MTN Home. Visit broadband.mtn.com.gh or your My MTN app to sign up today. MTN.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
7:13 City Business News was brought to us by Goil. When you run out of fuel, don't just stop anywhere and top up by heart. Insist on Goil. Our Super XP Ron 95 and Diesel SP are the best quality fuels on the market. The Super XP Ron 95 is a high-grade fuel sold at the same price as normal fuel. The Goil XP is low in sulfur, making it an eco-friendly option for your vehicle. With over 440 stations across the nation, join the family that rewards you with quality for an energized driving experience. With MTN and M-Copper device finance, you can now buy a sleek and trendy smartphone and enjoy the luxury of paying in amazing, easy daily, weekly, or monthly installment plans. Come to any of our MTS service centers at Accra Central, Achimota Mall, Dansoman, Medina, Tudu, or Circle. Choose your favorite from a wide range of mobile phones on offer. All phones come with 2 gig free data, so you can share your pictures and get all the biggest scoops online for the first 6 months. Kickoff is next. Brought to you by Lesheho. For over a decade, we've been supporting the investment goals of our customers with attractive solutions. With easy access to track your funds, we offer flexible deposit products for 91-day, 182-day, and 365 days. Get in touch with Lesheho Savings and Loans, a trusted safe haven for your investment. And attention to all our trotro taxi, truck, and bus drivers. Buying fuel at Shell just got more rewarding. You can get your health insurance for your family, car insurance, groceries for home, and so much more. Every time you buy fuel at Shell, you earn points that can be redeemed for any of these incredible offers. Buy fuel at Shell, join the Shell Club, keep filling up for benefits because Shell day for you. Time for kickoff. Mr. Ofe is here. Good morning, Gabby.
Good morning, Bernard. A Thursday morning. Welcome on board to kickoff on 97.3 Citi FM with me, Gabby Ofe. Coming up, it's match day for the Black Meteors all the way in Egypt. That's a pre-tournament friendly against the defending champions later today. Also coming up.
Turned.
All right, so Croatia went away from their first major title after beating host the Netherlands in a dramatic UEFA Nations League semi-final. More reactions coming up in a bit. All right, my name is Gabby Ofen. We start off with this, where Black Stars head coach Chris Hughton says he's only concerned about shocking positive results for the national team ahead of Ghana's game against Madagascar on Sunday. Hughton will manage what will be his third game as gaffer of the team when Ghana go away to Madagascar in their penultimate game of the 2023 African Cup of Nations qualifiers. Now, according to him, his priority is to deliver the needed results despite the absence of some key players on Sunday.
Okay, so firstly, as regards our plans, is that we the biggest part of management is having to be adaptable. You know, this would not be the first camp. The game that we've had players that we expected to be here that couldn't be here for whatever reason, injury mostly. So this is always part and parcel of it, and that's why we have the squad that we have. And for what we always say, for somebody that potentially might have been a starter, it's an opportunity for somebody else. And this is an international squad, and we'd like to think that there is no absolute standout first 11. What we would like to think is that there are, whatever the squad is, 23, 24, 25 players that are all pushing to want to start. That's one expectation. As a coach, you always have to give the players all of the full information. And when we do our homework and when we watch the opposition, there isn't one opposition that we see that we think we're going to win this game easy. There isn't one. Every international team is fighting to do well. And Madagascar would be no different. They are playing at home. They need to get results. So we would expect a difficult game, and it will be up to us, and it will be up to our performance to see, what the outcome is. But we will be a team that will be ready, and it will be a tough game. Yeah.
All right, so that's Black Stars gaffer Chris Hughton speaking there. Well, let's also hear from Vice President of the Ghana Football Association, Makado, spurring the players on to clinch the maximum points against Madagascar in the penultimate Group E game.
What people expect, or the nation expect from the Black Stars under normal circumstances, is that qualification is given. Usually it's how far we go, semi-finals or finals. That's the expectation. So this time around, it hasn't been that. It's not been that difficult. At the same time, it hasn't been that quick enough. So we are where we are. I believe if we win this game, then we automatically qualify. So this is a very important game ahead of us. And we are praying that we will get the results that we want, Coach. And the whole nation is behind you. We're looking forward to this engagement, and we are very hopeful.
All right, they are very hopeful. That's the words of Mercado. He's the vice president of the Ghana Football Association, and the team, they held their third training sessions yesterday at the Accra Sports Stadium. Will depart to Antananarivo later today. Well, for the AFCON qualifiers, South Sudan, they lost to Gambia by 3-2. Sao Tome and Principe also lost to Guinea-Bissau. Guinea lost to Egypt. So what this means is that Egyptians have qualified for the AFCON. Guinea remained second with 9 points and only need a draw in the final qualification match in September to get a ticket to the AFCON. Well, speaking of Egypt, Ghana will face the defending champions later today in a pre-tournament friendly ahead of the U23 AFCON in Morocco. Coach Ibrahim Tanko will be out, and Esniama Kamadin Silimana and Randford Yeboah Kanisdorfer will join the team later in Egypt after the Black Stars AFCON qualifier against Madagascar on June 18. The Black Meteors, they were in the same group with Egypt at the 2019 edition, with both teams progressing to the next phase. Let's hear from Gordon Atram. He's the assistant coach of the Black Meteors.
Honestly speaking, we the technical men, we are really glad that we are playing against Egypt. They are one of the top giants in this tournament. They are the defending champions, Egypt and Algeria and Morocco, which we all know that they are on top of African football now. And we have already played against Algeria in 2 qualifiers, and we had a chance of monitoring their way of play, and we are able to win the game. Now we are going to play against Egypt in the friendly. It's very, very important. If you want to be the best, you must always mingle out with the best. So playing against Egypt is a very good, friendly game for us to see how the team will gel up, and then also see how the performance will be like. Players confidence-wise, evaluation of the players, their capacity, how they are going to behave against the toughest side, which is Egypt, before we go to the tournament. Because we have Morocco there. So playing a friendly against Egypt is very, very good for us to play against Egypt.
All right, so that's Gordon Atram speaking to City Sports there. Let's also hear from Frederick Champon, who is the management committee chairman, speaking on the friendlies lined up for the Black Meteors.
We could have gotten, a good start to play. We're talking about the defending champions. We're talking about Egypt, who have also qualified for the Under-23 AFCON. And so I think that it will be a very, very good match for us, and then to complement the preparations we are doing for the tournament. So now we're playing against Egypt Under-23, the defending champions of the U23 AFCON here in Alexandria. After that, we'll spend a day here, and then we'll go back to Cairo to continue the preparation. In Cairo, we've lined up a match. I think we'll play on the 19th against a club side on the 19th of June. And then in 2 days' time, which will be 21st, because the tournament will start 24th. So 21st, we plan to travel from Cairo to Morocco to begin the tournament proper.
All right, so that's Frederick Champon. He's the chairman for the Black Meteors Management Committee. Well, away from that, let's do some beach soccer updates, where the Ghana Beach Soccer League is making a comeback this weekend after a 9-year break. This season marks the first time the league has been held under the Ghana Football Association since beach soccer joined the association. Yao Jemfi Kusi Awari, the vice president of Beach Soccer Committee, has been sharing insights on what the public can anticipate from the rebranded league in an interview with City Sports.
Well, the Ghanaians should expect a very big coming back of the beach soccer. For the past years, we're doing this with the help of Carback, and we've never even let the fund down before. And this time, FA be on board. FA, for the first time, a beach soccer league, Ghana Football Association. I think this time is going to be a very big, as I keep saying. So the fans should expect a new beach soccer season.
All right, so that's the vice president of the Beach Soccer Committee, Yao Jemfi Awari, speaking there. Now to the UEFA Nations League semi-finals. Croatia, they moved a huge step closer to a first ever major trophy after coming from behind to beat the Netherlands 4-2 in the UEFA Nations League semi-final at the Kuip in Rotterdam. Ronald Koeman's turbulence return to the Dutch hot seat continued as the Orange lost for the first time in this UEFA Nations League cycle. Luka Modric with a final goal for the Croats in the 160 minutes, securing victory for his side. Modric has been speaking. He says his focus is with the national team and not speculations surrounding his Madrid future.
In front of us, we have a very important team, and that's where my focus is ahead of the match. And when it comes to the future, my future in Real Madrid, as I've said many times, and that's all I can share with you at the moment. This is something I'm having to keep repeating, and I would like not to keep repeating this. Let me emphasise that my focus is on the match that Croatia is playing. After the match, I might go back and talk about other things.
All right, so that's Luka Modric speaking then. So that second semi-final will see Spain taking on Italy later today at 6:45 p.m. This will be De La Fuente's third game in charge of the Spanish team. Now, to some transfer updates, and Newcastle line talks with Inter Milan over a move for midfielder Nicolo Barella. Talks are centered around a potential £50 million transfer. We know Eddie Howe is a big fan, and Newcastle are hopeful of securing that deal. Chelsea have also rejected Manchester United's opening bid for Mason Mount. The offer is thought to be worth £40 million. United are looking at a number of other players and would be prepared to walk away from any deal. Mount has 1 year left on his contract at Stamford Bridge, and there is a great feeling he wants to make the move to the Red Devils. Wrapping up with this story where Fatima Samurai, she'll step down after 7 years as FIFA Secretary General to spend more time with her family. Appointed back in 2016, the 60-year-old will oversee this year's Women's World Cup in Australia and New Zealand before leaving at the end of the year. During Samurai's time as head of FIFA's administration, women's football has become more popular and more organized. So that's in regards to that. That's a wrap here on Kickoff. We've got more stories for you on citysportsonline.com. You can also head to Twitter as well as City Sports GH. Back later at 5 p.m. with Sports Flash. My name is Gabby Ofer. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care and bye-bye.
Passengers, Mama me 2 minutes per ride. Neighbor Cecilia.
Driver, you can't do this in London.
Oh, English, madam. We dear Mr. 1 minute per ride. Shell,
Driver, we're in a hurry, please. What's all this about?
Oh, madam. Help me say thank you to Shell. Shell Fuel Save lasts longer and helps us to save more money to do more things. Also, because I'm a member of the Shell Club, I get loyalty points every time I buy fuels that I use to redeem gifts I love. I can get third-party insurance for my car, free medical insurance, provisions for my home, and many more. Shell day my side. In fact, when I see another Shell station, I will hug everyone there.
Hey, driver, what the fire kwanza?
Hey, English, madam.
Enjoy numerous benefits when you buy fuel from Shell. Get loyalty points to claim third-party car insurance, family medical cover, provisions, and many more for free. Driver, Shell day your side. Go well.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
If you need unique services, innovative financial solutions, we deliver on our promise, cause we are number one. Let's go, we improve your life.
Let's go. Let's go. Hey, mama. Hey, mama. Hey, mama.
Even when you're stuck with nothing,
come to Let's go.
No matter your situation,
come to Let's go.
Let's go, we improve your life.
Let's go. Hey, let's go. Hey, let's go. Hey, mama. Hey, mama. Hey, mama.
Let's go, we improve your life.
Let's go Savings and Loans. Let's improve life.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
Do you remember that just a few years ago, your dad was telling you,
You dear, you like pressing your phone will kill you. You marry your phone.
Now, it is he who can't put his phone down. WhatsApp, Facebook, TikTok, every minute. Now he updates you on trend. As for you, you won't complain. No, you won't judge dad. You will get him a very good Samsung smartphone on discount this Father's Day. And you know he will love you for it. From 8th to 19th June, buy the Galaxy Z Fold 4 and get a 1,500 Ghana cedis discount. Get a good deal on any Samsung Galaxy A14, A04s, A04, and A04e. Get a free case when you buy a Galaxy A03 core as well. This offer is available at all Samsung authorized stores now. You're a good child and you're getting a good deal from Samsung this Father's Day. Terms and conditions apply.
City TV is live on DSTV, GoTV, and HD+. On DSTV, find us on channel 363. On GoTV, we're on channel 117, and on HD+, get us on channel 108. On a digital TV, run a new search, but take note that without an antenna, you cannot access City TV. City TV can be accessed on any free-to-air digital box like the GoTV and HD+ boxes. City TV, it's your world.
Hello, moms. Your favorite Nestle Cerelac is looking for the next superstar mom. You stand a chance to win your share of the $1,000 up for grabs. Yes, you heard right. Simply participate by sharing a 60-second video of yourself singing your own special lullaby to a predefined Cerelac tune in the Lullaby Mommy competition. Remember, your video must feature a Cerelac maize variant. Follow Baby and Me Ghana on Facebook and Instagram to be eligible to enter and win. Terms and conditions apply. This advert is FDA approved.
If you're a whiz kid that collects straight A's in your sleep, a brainy brains that aces quizzes without even trying, or a clever clogs that knows just about everything, then there's one more battle you have to win: the Literacy Challenge. The nationwide search for the best junior high student is on. Think it could be you going home with 10,000 Ghana cedis and a glitzy trophy? Then, in not less than 600 words, write a story that ends with the following statement: the happiest people do not have the best of everything, they make the best of everything they have. Stories should be written in your own handwriting with the deadline of Saturday, the 15th of July, 2023 in mind. Submissions must include an endorsement by a parent or guardian and their full contact details. And once you're done, shoot off your entries to the front desk of City TV or City FM. Or you can send entries to PO Box GP 14123 Accra Central. For more inquiries, call 0558 973 973. The Literacy Challenge 2023 is powered by City TV, supported by City FM, and is sponsored by the Ghana National Gas Company and Ribby Crunchy Biscuits by M4 Foods.
Passengers, Mama me 2 minutes per why. Neighbor Cecilia.
Driver, you can't do this in London.
Oh, English, madam. We dear Mr. 1 minute per why. Shell, Madam Asio.
Driver, we're in a hurry, please. What's all this about?
Oh, madam. Help me say thank you to Shell. Shell fuel save lasts longer and helps us to save more money to do more things. Also, because I'm a member of the Shell Club, I get loyalty points every time I buy fuels that I use to redeem gifts I love. I can get third-party insurance for my car, free medical insurance, provisions for my home, and many more. Shell dey my side. In fact, when I see another Shell station, I will hug everyone there.
Hey, driver, what do you fire kwanza?
Hey, English, madam.
Enjoy numerous benefits when you buy fuel from Shell. Get loyalty points to claim third-party car insurance, family medical cover, provisions, and many more for free. Driver, Shell day your side. Go well.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show.
I would say there are 5 key things. And the first one I would say is indeed having the right leadership. And I like what she said about transformational leadership. And hopefully later we can talk about what we really mean about the type of leadership we need. So that's the first thing, leadership. The second thing I would say is having a very clear mission or niche. So you can't be just jack of all trades. I don't find successful SMEs are ones that are just, oh, this is the fad, so you move to that one. So a clear niche, that's the second. The third would be the customer orientation and responsiveness. If you don't have that in your SME, you can't last into the long run. Fourth is the right mix of people, unless you're a one-man shop. But really, if we're talking about SMEs, we're not talking about single entrepreneurs. We are talking about people with a group. So it's having the right mix of engaged people. Hopefully, we can talk about that later. And the last component, I would say, is because we have seen in the last couple of years, we've seen so much change and uncertainty. To be a successful
If you go, like when you go on trek, you go and buy plantain, very cheap. And then when you come to Accra, it's expensive. So yes, Accra is the most expensive region. But there are some regions which are also very expensive.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Especially...
And the most expensive region for plantain is not Greater Accra. Meanwhile, Greater Accra doesn't grow that much plantain.
Can you imagine that?
The most expensive region for millet is not Accra.
Millet?
Yes. The other thing we also noticed was that things that are packaged, like milk, tin tomatoes, the prices don't vary that much. But things that people have to measure for you,
yeah,
olonka or beef, it's not good. The variations are too much.
Too much, yeah?
We'll enter the report. All right, what's happening today? Citi Business Festival today, my guest is Taka Awori. We're speaking about how to build a winning SME team, and that's at 9:05. The Business Festival this week is focusing on building resilient SMEs, and my guest will be talking about how to build a winning team. It's a very interesting interview because in the interview, I asked as many questions as I was asked. Because I was trying to interview her about how to, and her point was that I've built a winning team. So I should also tell her how I managed you guys. So I don't know how that interview. So that's at 9:05. If you want to listen to that, it was more like two people questioning each other. So it's a very different interview. So I started the interview by asking her a question, and she also started asking me questions. Yeah. She said, how do you keep somebody like Sky on your team? How do you keep Sky happy?
Oh, I see.
Yeah. I see. So I had to answer those questions. So that's at 9:05. Business Festival, brought to you by Absa Bank, with sponsorship from MTN Momo, MTN Business, and ZPay. The other question I have, so apart from the food prices, the BOG announced 97 illegal online loan apps. And I think, Godfrey, it requires a conversation about many things, about where people get help when they need money. Because some of the rates, so this is what these guys will do. They will give Nathan Kwao 200 cedis and ask him to pay in a week. And they'll say he should pay maybe 250 cedis in a week. It does, even if it's cheap. So it's a very draconian interest rate. But it's a quick loan because Nathan is hot. All right. And if Nathan doesn't pay, they will go on his social media and start shaming him.
That's what they do.
Nathan Kwao is a thief. He has come for Amman, doesn't want to pay. They'll go on Twitter, they'll go on Instagram. They'll go to his Accra page and go and finish him there.
Oh, really? That's what they do?
They will damage.
They spoil you like that.
They will chase him to his church. Oh, they will finish him. That's what they do. So by the time Nathan pays that 250, he has been damaged. And people who are desperate go. So I think it's very important that the Bank of Ghana release the list, because they are trying to say that before you can give people money in a public platform, you must be licensed. All right. And if you are using social media to do it, you have some rules you have to obey. So all these guys just set up these things, and they use it to do a lot of online bullying for full credit and things. It's not good.
Cola cash.
It's seriously. So and Sky, there are a lot of people who go and the other thing I need to say about this is that people to go. This is what people used to do, which is why the SIM registration is good.
Yep.
He goes to buy 4 SIMs. He goes to MTN Momo. MTN gives him a loan. He won't pay. Then he'll take the chip from the MTN. He's going to take maybe 1,000 from MTN. He won't pay. And he'll go and get another one from Vodafone. Take a loan. And he's changing the chips. So if they didn't register all these chips, they'll be doing that business. You know, so a lot of crime with online things. So I think the registration of the SIM is important.
The question I have though is, how are they able to get those apps onto the
without any,
like, why is there no rule around how you load apps onto the Apple Store and all of these things?
I don't even know where it's Sky. There are a couple of things I'll say. I don't know that much about this, but you see, there's something called open source. So the internet is really not as regulated as you think. And there are some people who have a lot of computing brain power who believe that internet everything should be free because they don't trust regulators. So there are so many things you can do online that cannot be regulated.
Yeah, but you see, when it comes to a package of the kind that they're selling to people, which is essentially a product online, I think there should be some regulation around it. I mean,
of which of the so okay, let me ask you. You have formed a WhatsApp group for 3,000 senior high school. So you and your 15 friends are there, or 50 friends. Which agency will? So are you saying that somebody should apply to somebody so that they will say Richiska wants to start a WhatsApp group for 3,000, or he wants to start a Telegram group?
You see,
which so are they going to go to NCA?
No. I think no.
They don't have the capacity to regulate it.
No. My argument is more to do with they are saying apps, right?
Yeah.
An app, you design it, and when you finish designing it, you load it onto the App Store or the other one is the
Play Store.
The Play Store, right? I'm saying that the App Store, for instance, is an interface, right? It's like an ecosystem where you find all kinds of things. In admitting you onto the platform, what is the rule around?
What are the protocols? That's a good question.
Because if you don't have a business, license or an operating license or certificate to show that, this is a properly registered business in Ghana, this is your office, this is what you do, and you're authorized to do the same. Ideally, I do not expect that a respected, global institution like the folks who deal with the App Store should admit you just like that.
All right, what we can do to help our listeners is to find out the protocols required in getting onto these stores. But the other problem is that not all these apps come through these main stores. There are ways in which you can still get people to patronize you without going through these types of apps.
Okay.
Right? Which I am talking about the different platforms that they've created. I will come back to the list. I just wanted to read a few birthday requests before I get ahead of myself. So today is the 15th of June. And then I'm trying to just read them quickly because there's a lot. Happy birthday to and marriage anniversary to Mrs. Cynthia J. of the Ghana Christian International High School, a team player, a person you cannot do without. From all the teachers of Christian High, we say, God richly bless you. Long live Mrs. Cynthia J. Also, happy birthday to our son, Sesi Kofi Koshiga, on his 5th birthday. His parents are proud of him, coming from Richard and wife, Fako Koshiga. Primus is 19, and they are happy to celebrate this with all their partners and clients who have made Primus come this far. Thanks to our great team at Primus for rolling up their sleeves and always putting their shoulders to the wheel. And if it had not been for the Lord, where would we be? Here's to being 19. Here's to 19 years of relentless pursuit of excellence. Happy 19th anniversary to Primus. I need to say this. Primus and Citi have been very interesting partners. So Citi is also 19. And they've grown with us. So Wale and the hard-working team at Primus.
Big man.
Happy 19th. May you see your 190th. Amen. May you also become a century old.
Yes.
May our great-grandchildren talk about Primus.
Thank you.
That they were started many years ago. And they are still doing well.
Yes.
Very important.
He's a man of timber and caliber.
Yes. Happy birthday to Ekua Free Afari of Republic Bank, coming in from Laureen and Linda. May the Lord bless you so much, Ekua. This is coming from your two paddies. I also wanted to do one, Bernard, to my sweetest and dearest wife, Edinam Afua Ajessica. I'm crazy about you. It's been 19 birthdays together. That's an interesting one. So same as Primus. It's been 19 birthdays together, and each time I want to celebrate you more. It may not be in ways you imagine, but it's all love. I want to sing Stone Boy into the future with you. Happy birthday, my beloved wife. From your husband, Derek Jessica, to his wife, Edinam Afua Jessica. Happy blessed birthday to Rosemond Akosia Sewa Radio of Stanbic Bank Enterprise Direct. Wishing you tons of blessings from E.D. Bestie Mamle. And then another one that came in, so many. Okay, Nathan, do a couple before I get back to my
I just want to wish my very good friend, somebody I call a sister, Elva Tete,
All right.
happy birthday. I've known her since 2005.
All right.
We're mates, but she's like an
sister.
older sister to me.
Nice
So,
one.
Elva, happy birthday to you. I wish you the very best.
All right.
Let me say good morning to let me say good morning to the School of Information and Communication Studies. I was there yesterday.
Of which university?
University of Ghana, of course.
Oh, I didn't know. Why is that the only university that has? Why is it the
Information and Communication
and
Studies?
then Tokwa.
It's not in Tokwa. Let me say good
This is when they say good morning, say 5 days.
Then they are brilliant, like the prices.
Another one. Happy birthday to the love of my life, Mr. Wisdom Akemada. It's AKE. I think it was supposed to be Akpe, I don't know. Mr. Wisdom Akemada Anka Esquire. Every day I get so glad and thankful that you chose me as your life companion and partner. Although you are the most annoying person in my life, you are also the most amazing. May God grant you long life and blessings. I love you so much. From your other baby girl that's coming into you, Mr. Wisdom Akemada. All right. This guy will do a couple more before we jump into our first interview.
So this one says, NS Amwabeng ECG Kaswa South District. Good morning, City. Kindly wish my daughter, Margaret Amwabeng, glorious happy birthday for me. May God grant her all her heart desires to the extent they are noble. This one from Yusuf in Zenu says, City FM, kindly help me wish a brother and a friend, Habib Adam, who is the CEO of Haske Butcheries at Texpo Market. A happy birthday. May God grant you long life and may you get more blessings in the coming years. This one said, I thank the Almighty God for moving David Nana Kwame Entry to the first floor today.
Which one is the first floor?
Yeah, which is a year old or something.
Oh, so maybe that's 10.
10.
That's
Okay,
10.
that's
10.
Okay.
Louisa here for.
Okay.
A glorious birthday to you, Madwiya. Are you turn 12 today. Wishing you God's blessings, wisdom, and good health now and forever. Love you so much from your mom and your siblings.
Yvonne in Kaswa says, kindly wish my grandson Nana Abayomi Ofosu a happy birthday. This one from Nana Odro Ajiman of Takrady says, happy birthday to my mom-in-law, Mommy Cecilia Otu of Accra Newtown. We wish you God's blessings as you celebrate your 60th birthday. Much love from Nana and Gertrude. And this one says, good morning, Bernard. Kindly give shout outs to our son, Sesi Kofi Koshiga. Okay, I think you've done that much earlier.
Yeah.
And there's one from Musa from Kumasi says, happy birthday to me, myself, and I. Yes, I thank the Almighty God, Allah.
Do you know Musa Sapientu?
Yeah, Musa Sapientu.
What is that?
The last time Musa Sapientu is Akodu.
I think it's
the botanical.
I wanted to ask the statistician why which region has the most expensive Musa Sapientu. There was this.
Which region is that?
There was this BBC program called Story where some guy speaks very big English.
Yes.
So I'll say, Mr. Statistician, which region has the most expensive Musa Sapientu?
Papaya. Let me do this one for Salenko.
Okay.
A very glorious birthday to you.
I've done it.
Oh, you've done it?
Yes.
Okay. And then there's one from a very good friend of mine,
yes.
Richard. Richard says that Mr. Magnuson, a former administrator of Ebenezer Presbyterian Church, Mamprobi, is 70 years today.
We'll do more later. Let's talk to Professor Samuel Enim. He's the government statistician. Yesterday, he announced the latest inflation figures. 2 main points there. The year-on-year inflation for the first time in 4 or 5 announcements started trending up again. Monthly inflation also 4.6, I think it is. And then I think it's the first time he's also going to do it in Kumasi. I don't know why he went to Kumasi to do it. Prof, thanks for joining us. Good morning.
Good morning, Bernard, and good morning to listeners.
You announced the inflation figures from Kumasi. Are we to take it that you'll be decentralizing the announcements or you'll be regionalizing the announcements in the future?
Not necessarily. This was really demand-driven, and the reason why we accepted the request from the Kumasi Technical University is because it aligns with our orientation that the statistics that we release is not just for policy making, it's for awareness creation, and possibly where there's the need for change in behavior, it happens. And more importantly, because it was an academic environment, we thought it was important we respond positively to their request because it enhances the academia-industry relationship. And from our point of view, why that is important is that it adds to the methodological rigor of the work that we do. So that is why we responded to the request by the university to release the CPI for May on their campus.
Inflation started trending downwards from, I think, January. And observers felt that this was good because the peak, I think, was 55-ish. So the big story for us is that after getting to 41.2, it's gone back to 42.2. How significant is the fact that it didn't go lower than 41? Looking at the trend, how significant is it? That so another way of asking the question is that so is 41.2 a trough, so that we expect it to start trending upwards now?
Thank you, Bernard. I think it's early days to draw any conclusion, as we always say. But let's put these numbers in its right context. You are absolutely right in terms of the quotations of the numbers. But let's keep in mind that this is talking about year-on-year inflation. And what that simply means is that we're comparing it with same time last year. So yes, we peaked as a country in December 2022 with 54.1. And since January, we've seen a gradual slowdown of the rate of inflation. Why I say it's important we put these numbers in context is beyond the fact that it is dropping, we are always emphasizing a careful attention to the rate at which it is dropping. Between January and February, it dropped from 53.6 to 52.8, indicating just about a 0.8 percentage point difference. And we saw a marked drop between February and March from 52.8 to 45.0, indicating a 7.8 drop. Then between March and April, the drop in the year-on-year inflation was just about 3.8% as it moved from 45.0 in March to 41.2. So right from February, between February and March, we saw that the rate at which it was declining was slowing down. So for it to have gone up by 1 percentage point between April and May 2023, from my point of view, we should have seen this on a year-on-year coming. Why this is important is that there are quite a number of factors that are influencing what we are seeing now. Yes, one can argue that we've seen a relatively stable foreign exchange. We've seen prices at the pump slow down. But let us not forget that even this year, 2023, there have been 2 instances where amid the drop in prices of fuel at the pumps, there have been 2 instances where it's gone up marginally. Let us also not forget that there have been instances where we've had changes in our tax regime, which would also affect what we are seeing. And all this would play out with the other positive stories that we're all looking at in terms of the downward trend. I would not in any way say that we troughed us in April 2023 because between May and June, we're expecting a lot more dynamics. We would recall that we started the month, if I recall correctly, with fuel at the pumps, especially at Goil and Total Shell, recording per liter of 12 cedis 30 pesos. And we've seen a 15 pesos increase, I think, in the last week or 2. So all this will play out in terms of how the June prices would look like amid the stability that we see in our foreign exchange. And please, let's always keep in mind that the foreign exchange has an indirect influence on the inflation that we compute. It is not part of the variables that we use in the computation of consumer price index and rate of inflation. Let me quickly jump to the monthly inflation, which is telling a different story. The month-on-month inflation indicates that we reverse the deflation that we recorded in March 2023. If you recall, in March 2023, there was a deflation of 1.2, and this was reversed to 2.4 in April 2023, and we've seen a doubling of that in May, standing at 4.8.
Can you explain what that means? You're saying that the story for month-on-month inflation is rather different, and you said we experienced a deflation in March, but now so the month-on-month is actually showing increasing inflation.
Yes. I mean, so now both month on month and year on year for May 2023 are showing an upward trend in the rate of increase. So on the year on year, as I indicated, there's a 1.0 percentage point increase from 41.2 to 42.2. And for month on month, we are also seeing an upward increase in the rate of inflation from 2.4 to 4.8. The emphasis is on the extent. The percentage point difference on a month-on-month basis is 2.4 percentage points, while the percentage point variation on year is 1.0.
Now, as a policy tool, which one is more useful in terms of where an economy is headed, month on month or year on year?
Bernard, every policy should have timeline. And some policies are meant to have a short-term impact and others are meant to have long-term impact. So if as a country we want stability in our inflation rate, what we want to look at is on a year-on-year basis, what is the trend? One expects to see a lot of volatility in month-on-month inflation because anytime there is a shock, anytime there is a trigger, either internally or externally, the immediate effect would be on the month-on-month. And then on the year-on-year basis, you are comparing it with more or less averaging it over the 12-year period and seeing what happened in the same period last year. So if your policy directive is intended to address a short-term impact, you shock the system in a positive way, you expect to see that impact on a month-on-month basis. Otherwise, on a long-term basis, if we are thinking about having a steady path for our inflation rate, then the variable that we need to look at is year-on-year inflation.
Wonderful. You published very detailed breakdown of the consumer price index for food. In terms of the main drivers of inflation, would we say food was still the number one driver of the other things you looked at?
Yes. So again, what we did yesterday to help users of our data have better clarity is, as usual, we disaggregated between food and non-food inflation. So in terms of levels, we had food inflation recording an inflation rate of 51.8 and non-food inflation 34.6. It is the first time that we've recorded such a wide disparity, in several months. Such a wide disparity between food and non-food inflation of about 17.2 percentage points. Last month, we recorded a disparity of about 13.3 between food and non-food inflation. So in terms of level, food inflation is higher than non-food inflation. What we always want to emphasize is that if you think about the weight of food inflation, which is 43.7, beyond telling the levels of food inflation, which is 51.8, we estimate the share of food inflation. And again, in the last 17 months, we are recording the share of food inflation at 52.9, which is the highest that we've recorded since January 2022. So it clearly points to the fact that there is the need to focus on food inflation from the perspective of both the levels, which is 51.8, and its share to the overall inflation, which is 52.9.
Interesting. Now, in the breakdown of the food items and the regions, which I thought was really, really fantastic, table 1, we are able to compare the median prices of about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 food categories, or 11, which is very commendable. One of the things that shocked us, of course, so Greater Accra is the most expensive region for food, which is not surprising. But one of the things that surprised me was, for example, plantain. There's usually this anecdotal thing we say that, when you come to Accra, plantain is expensive, and when you go to the places plantain is grown, it's cheaper. I was surprised to find that plantain, the median price of plantain is higher in some of the regions than even in Greater Accra, right? So, for example, the Upper East region and the Western region, the median price of plantain in the Western region is 8.59. That is unbelievable. So I don't know whether you always do this and whether my interpretation is correct, that the most expensive plantain in Ghana in April is in Western region and Upper East region. Is that a correct interpretation?
Bernard, again, thank you very much for making reference to this maiden report on food price variability across the 16 administrative regions. If you don't mind, before I come to your question, let me put context to the report. The reason why we put out this report is to make an argument that we should focus on some commodities that have higher weight in our basket for the computation of CPI and rate of inflation, but have variations in their prices both within regions and across regions. And why we are doing this is that we have a strong belief that if we really want to bring down inflation, there is the need for a collective approach. And what I mean by a collective approach is that we need to bring on board the real sector ministries and also bring on board government operatives at the subnational level. And that is why we are doing this food price variability across the 16 administrative regions, focusing on these items. Again, one thing that I want to say is that we've selected only 10 items out of the 307 items that we have in our basket for the computation of CPI and rate of inflation. Why this is important is that you might not find certain items here which are in our 307 items simply because they did not meet our inclusion criteria. For an item to get into our basket, first of all, we should have a minimum of 5 price points. And also, we should have the item being reflected in at least 10 out of the 16 administrative regions. It is important to emphasize that some of the items that we have in our basket are reflected in only 3 or 4 of the regions, because in those regions, these are items that are important to them. And obviously, for an item to be included, then it should have a significant weight in terms of the importance that persons in Ghana put on. Coming back to your question on plantain, which we included because we wanted to reflect a staple commodity, and also something that will reflect different consumer groups in the country. And plantain, one would argue that it reflects what is consumed by the lower to the middle class. You are right in terms of the interpretation. We use the median price because we didn't want the summary statistics to be affected by outliers. So you put your data in either an ascending order, descending order, and take the middle price. And what we saw with plantain, as you rightly indicated, was that in Western region, it was 8 Ghana cedis 59 pesos, whereas in Greater Accra, it was 6 cedis 2 pesos. This is really an issue of concern, and this is where we think we need to analyze the full value chain of food production and consumption. And I've said this before, until we have a clear sense of the build-up cost between the farm gate and the consumer, between our port and the consumer, we will not be able to address inflation comprehensively, because we don't know the spikes that happen along the food value chain. Our initial hunch is that for Western, it could be that the producers there are looking at the profit margin. And then once they get it, they quickly move it out to Greater Accra. So you have the supply going up in Greater Accra, for which it meets the demand, and the demand supply plays up and it brings down the price. And then, although it is produced in the Western North region instead of the Greater Accra region, because the concentration is to move it away from there, you have a lower availability of the commodity in the region that is producing it. Demand is up, and then it's going to push the prices up. So for us, it is not so much surprising for us, because it is not just the region that produces it, it's the entire value chain that we need to analyze.
Which is a very interesting point, because on that same product, plantain, the region with the lowest median price for plantain is Western North, which is just adjacent to Western region. So it doesn't even make sense. Like Western North sells the cheapest plantain, Western region has the most expensive plantain. I don't understand. The other point was about choosing to include imported rice. Why did you select imported rice as against just local rice? And for that imported rice, I need to say that the region with the highest price was Ahafo region, 20 cedis per kilogram. And the cheapest region for imported rice was Upper West with 10.71. So before you even comment on the price, why did you use imported rice and not normal rice? And then why is Ahafo having the most expensive imported rice.
But let me go back to your earlier submission. It will be prudent for us to distinguish between geographical proximity and economic proximity. And why this is important is that the fact that two regions share border doesn't mean that if you are producing one commodity, you take it to the nearest region. Every producer will think more in terms of economic proximity, in terms of returns of the product, rather than geographical proximity. And this is exactly the reason why we are bringing this evidence out. And we are hoping that the Ministry of Local Government Decentralization, that coordinates all activities across the subnational level, will bring the regional ministers together to try and first of all say that these are the prices that are being collected in your regions. Why are we seeing this? How can we create streams of flow so that if Western North is close to Western region, we ensure that commodities that are high in Western region but are very low in Western North region, we can tap into the benefits of economic proximity and get those commodities there. Rather than Western North thinking strongly about the economic proximity and say that we are better off sending it to other regions. So these are the reasons why we put this out there. Coming back to your question in terms of why imported rice and not local rice. Bernard, let me throw a simple question back. I mean, like we all do sometimes. How many of us consume local rice? As I indicated, the basket is based on the importance that persons in Ghana put on different commodities. And in which areas do we see local rice being sold? So we had an inclusion criteria, as I explained to you earlier on. The first criteria, once you are doing a summary statistics, you wouldn't want to pick a commodity that is sold just at one market point, and then that commodity, because it's just one market point, becomes your median and will be the basis for generalization. So at the minimum, we said, let's look for items that at least we can find them in 5 market points, price points. Then the second thing is that they should be reflected in all the 10 regions. The only exception that we did with this analysis had to do with millet. And the reason why we did millet in terms of the 10 regions is that it's a significant staple commodity for those residing in the northern part of the country. But the other 9 items strictly have to satisfy the 3 conditions: 5 price points represented in 10 regions and should have significant weight in our basket for the computation of CPI and rates of inflation. And that is why we missed out on local rice.
Fair enough. I'm not making too much of that. The final point I wanted to make was that we noticed from the price distribution across regions that for things that are packaged, like milk and canned or tinned tomatoes, the price variations are much lower. So a tin of milk, the price will not vary from within region or with whatever, within or compared to regions. But things like beef, where there's a lot of arbitrariness, or bread, we noticed that the price variations were very, very, very high. Does that confirm a certain theory of profiteering? Does that confirm a certain theory of the need for standards? Is there, can we jump to that conclusion on the basis of this?
Thank you for bringing that up, Bernard. Indeed, that is the exact conclusion that we are putting up for this particular finding. And it's more towards the second than the first. And what I mean by that is the conversation on standardization using appropriate metrics for the purchase of commodities in Ghana is long overdue. And this is exactly what we want to do. Even when an attempt is being made to standardize it using some approaches like the alonka and the pans and other containers that we use to sell these commodities, they vary from one area to another, and it's not very helpful. And again, this is something that you don't see it as a direct responsibility of any particular government ministry. Yes, MOFA can take it up, but standardization goes beyond MOFA. And this is what we are hoping, that there will be some higher level intervention to ensure that we are clear in our minds how we can ensure standardization of the products that we produce and purchase on our market. The issue of profiteering is possible, but I mean, I wouldn't push it too far because the evidence there is minimal.
Thank you for your time and always taking the time to explain, Professor Samuel Enim. We really appreciate you for that. He's a government statistician. And Nathan, they're releasing the data in very usable format. It's not just a big number. And listeners, I want to urge you, we are going to publish the food price variations on our website. So there are 10 food items and you can see the average price in each region. It's really, really good information, right? From imported rice to millet, to bread, to beef, to milk, to cooking oil, to cassava, to yam, to plantain, and tomato paste. These are the top 10 products. And you can see the Greater Accra region is the most expensive, not surprising. But there are some very interesting insights there, which can even inform your own choices as to what to do. We will take a break and bring you straight tech and social media trends, which is long overdue. Forgive me. It's brought to us by Vodafone. If you're looking for the best value, data, and voice offer, look no further as Vodafone has unbeatable deals made just for you. To enjoy this amazing Vodafone offers, just dial *530#. Get onto any of the Vodafone Made For Me bundles from as little as 1 CD. Vodafone Made For Me has just what you need. This offer is specially made for you. Simply dial *530# or visit my Vodafone app to subscribe. And in keeping with the adage that where your treasure is, there your heart is, FBN Bank is encouraging you to put your children on their way to financial independence and awareness with Kids First account designed for children up to age 12 and the Me First account, which is from 13 to 17. The Kids First account, your child up to 12 gets to enjoy memorable activities, while the Me First account affords teenagers a chance to learn about money. Call 059-6921-921 or visit any FBN branch. You can also go to our website, FBN Bank Ghana. So Nathan will tell us what's been trending all morning.
Yeah, all morning. So the phrase money heist is trending.
Right.
Why money heist? Now, a few days ago, there was a story in the newspapers about a bank worker who allegedly broke into people's accounts and took money and all of that. So, people are generating conversations out of that, and they've tagged it money heist. So that's what's trending. Chef Dami is also trending. She's trying to break this cooking record, but people are having fun with that. On the sporting side of things, Kai Havertz is trending.
Where is he going?
Now, there are transfer stories linking him to a potential move to Arsenal. So that's
Why
also...
would Arsenal want to do that?
I don't even understand. These are just rumors.
What
That's
is the meaning of that?
Charlie. Anyway, Stoneboy is also trending. He's going to commission some water projects in the Western region, and he's getting a lot of good press.
Wonderful.
After that, on the tech side of things, now one of the 3 godfathers of AI has said that it won't take over the world or permanently destroy jobs. Professor Jan LeCun said some experts' fears of AI posing a threat to humanity were preposterously ridiculous. Now, computers would become more intelligent than humans, but that was many years away. And if you realize it's not safe, you just don't build it, he said. Now, a UK government advisor recently told the BBC that some powerful artificial intelligence might need to be banned. So the AI conversation is happening this week and last week, or in the last 2 weeks or so. The biggest conversation in the EU Parliament has been on AI, and they are trying to find ways and means of regulating it and keeping it in check.
Second social media trends with Nathan Kwao.
One day, an old lady inherited a huge sum of money. Her family worried about how to break the good news to her. They feared that the sudden good news might give her a heart attack. And so they decided the family doctor who was experienced in delivering such news should be the one to tell her. And when he did, surprisingly, she just smiled. Relieved, he asked, "What are you going to do with all that money?" She replied, "I'm going to give you half." The doctor had a heart attack. People are often surprised when we put them first. At FBN Bank, that's what we do. We put you first. Open an account with us today and enjoy mobile banking, USSD banking, shop and pay with our prepaid Visa cards, MasterCard, and many other services designed with you in mind. FBN Bank, you first.
Ever visited a shop, picked a whole basket of provisions, toiletries, and very essential things you need, battled a long queue to finally pay, only to be told you can't pay to a merchant number? The way that thing they pay, But with Vodafone Cash, there is no problem. Now on Vodafone Cash, you can pay all merchants on all networks. Easy peasy. And you're straight. And you're direct. And you're sharp. From your Vodafone Cash wallet to any merchant number on other networks. So whether you are buying provisions or fuel, medication or food, whatever the service or need, just pay conveniently from Vodafone Cash to any merchant's number. Simply dial *110# to make payment to merchants on other networks today.
Vodafone. Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
Do you remember that?
Having the right leadership, okay, it's very key. And regarding the leadership, I just want to highlight some 3 key competencies. You know, the strength of ideating.
Yes.
Because as a business leader, you have to constantly ideate. You have to constantly innovate. You have to reimagine yourself to be able to, you know, continue to thrive within the changing, you know, times. And then the resilience, you know, just imagine we are in crisis. How does your business survive if you don't have that resilient spirit, that resilient mindset? And then also your optimism. You have to believe above all hopes that your business will thrive and survive. You understand? And then also the discipline. You cannot run a successful business when you lack discipline. You have to have the discipline to ensure that your business is running, you are managing your money well, and then also you are executing on your goals. Without discipline, you will struggle. And then the next thing that makes, you know, a successful SME is the SME having been able to structure the business, you know, to the extent that banks like us will be interested in you. That is engaging in proper business practices, like, you know, having a proper governance, you know, in place. You have, you know, your administrative set up. You have a proper records of your financials, because businesses need money. And I'm happy that at the point of our conversation, we'll be looking at money. You know, you can't come to us when, you know, you don't meet certain lending requirement. So I would deem you successful when you have been able to go through the pains to actually understand even the financial system, what they require, and the processes you have to go through to access funding, you know, with both a financial institution or an investor. And then also your customer base. You cannot be a successful business when you don't have a strong customer base and these customers are not loyal to you. You know, because when your clients are loyal to you, they become your net promoter. They are the ones that will talk about you, recommend you to other potential customers for them to utilize your services or your product. And then also, finally, I will talk about capacity to borrow and pay or meet your lending obligations, because, you know, smart business people, they leverage the financial system. Because they know that at a point in their businesses where they have to scale, it cannot only come from their own internally generated funds.
Nation of power with relevant radio. This is City 97.3.
18 minutes past 8, Citi Breakfast Show. A few quick announcements. In this announcement we've been doing for the past few days, final notice to all debtors and defaulters for ground rent. TDC is asking you whether you're a land buyer, you are owing land management fees, license fees, or ground rent. Please make payment of your debt using any of the following channels: GCB Bank Nationwide, mobile money short code *737 *46#. Or you can also contact the Ashaman sub office opposite Joe Cinema at Ashaman Market, or go to TDC head office near Olam Senior High School, Tema. Make your payments before 30th June, otherwise the affected plots can be repossessed. Call 059-691-3236. Bell Pack Paper Tissue is here with some really great characteristics. Strong but not weak. Soft but not weak, strong but not hard. Just perfect. We also have the Bell Pack kitchen towels. Bell Pack paper tissues are perfect, whether they are pocket tissues, table napkins, toilet rolls, or kitchen towels. Bell Pack is simply the best. Call 055-114-4400. That's 055-114-4400.
Now, for all the precious moments, sacrifices, and love of our father and father figures, showing our profound gratitude cannot be underestimated. That's why you need to celebrate them on Father's Day. Caveman Watches is helping you appreciate that father or father figure in your life. They are running a 10% discount on all watches until the 19th of June. Now, Caveman is a global standard, New York Times endorsed, made in Ghana watch brand that makes bespoke premium watches right here in Ghana. Get in touch with them on social at Caveman Watches, or call them on 0557-516-744. Caveman Watches, be remembered. Now, you're thinking about what program to choose for your master's degree. Well, we are back to invite applicants to our prestigious university. The University of Ghana School of Law is giving you a unique opportunity to broaden your horizons. Now, they have 19 MA and LLM programs for the 2023-24 academic year. And you don't even need a first degree in law to enroll for the MA programs. Visit the website law.ug.edu.gh/masters, or call 0531-282-413 or 0531-330-203 to find out more. UG School of Law, the best place to be. Now, your car is looking at you. It wants to perform very, very well. That's why you need to give it a lot of Shell Helix engine oil. Whether you're cruising on the open road or battling with busy traffic, Shell Helix will keep your engine running smoothly. Choose Shell Helix lubricants Munkoswahine for the ultimate power, performance, and protection. Visit your local Shell station today and experience the difference for yourself.
Let's get into some quick comments right away. But before that, can you really call it savings or investment if all you keep doing is paying charges on the account? At Bayport, we believe an investment account should make you more money. That's why our fixed deposit has been preferred choice for most Ghanaians for the past 2 decades. Convenience and peace of mind are redefined as you enjoy guaranteed maximum returns on every CD invested with us. Call us on 0302-745454. Bayport, your future now. All right, here are some comments on the matters being discussed.
Okay, all right. This one is from Kenneth from Hachu, who says, in response to Sky's question, Android apps are easy to get into. You simply have to pay the $25 and you can create any name as a company name. Apple will require that you provide a business tax ID, basic proof of a registered company. But if I had a malicious intent, I could register a simple provisions shop, use that tax ID to create the company.
For this loan business.
Yep. This one says, tell Sky that the tech companies are not regulated. It's the sovereign state and regional bodies that are responsible. Tech development is now ahead of regulation. That's why you see things like the AI regulation regime commenced by the EU yesterday.
Yes, in fact, I'm following that, truly closely. I know that the US guys have also been doing some, congressional hearings on how to deal with regulation. But the challenge really is that for some reason the US is adopting a cavalier attitude to, dealing with, AI and how it should be regulated.
What is our approach here?
We are not even in the conversation at all. In fact, I was reading a paper 2 days ago. It is only so far Mauritius, Egypt, and I think one other country that have done some work thus far. But we do not even have any policy. Yes, I think it's Rwanda. We do not have any regulation properly so-called targeting.
It will be interesting to have the communications and digitalization minister and the information minister get some action on this.
We've been talking.
Take some initiative.
And Haruna took the matter up on the floor of Parliament with the state.
Yeah, but I mean,
it's
a big conversation.
This one says, regarding the protocols to publish an app, Google Play Store is very loose and not stringent as compared to the well-regulated protocols of the Apple Play Store. In Nigeria, for instance, the regulator liaised with the tech companies to regulate what gets published.
It's important.
All right. This one says, my concern over the online loan apps is if these companies are not legal, why are they in existence? Can the regulatory agency send a message to Google to say, take these things away from our country's Play Store? Why would the agency wait for harm to be done and say we didn't warn you to use those apps? Okay. And Mike from Sokoban in Kumasi says,
well, because the Bank of Ghana doesn't regulate the online space. So that I think sometimes we have to be realistic.
No, but you see, Bernard,
Sky, you're telling me that do you know a number of transactions and a number of activities that take place on online in a day?
Bernard.
The Bank of Ghana regularly will come out and say these guys have not been licensed because we've observed them over a period. I'm not sure they can actually prevent.
Bernard, you see, look, banking has moved away from brick-and-mortar bank sitting somewhere. Majority of things happening these days, to a large extent, are happening online. And if you look at the volume of transactions happening online, you are marveled. You'll be marveled at what exactly is going on. So if these apps, strictly speaking, we can situate them as what? Fintech, right? And they are not licensed, I think the Bank of Ghana would have to do
I want
a lot
to read
more.
the statement.
And
for
where
you.
they do not even have the authority, perhaps, maybe if there is some, legislative gap or lacuna.
Let me read the statement.
Because
BOG,
it's disturbing.
Notice to all licensed financial institutions and the general public. Lending activities by unlicensed entities. Further to Bank of Ghana notice number given, whatever, on unlicensed entities engaged in lending. So this is on the first one. The bank has observed the persistent operation of unlicensed entities that are engaged in the provision of loans through mobile applications to the Ghanaian public in contravention of the Bank and Specialized Deposit Taking Institutions Act, 2016 Act 930. Some of the loan applications offered on the market without a license authorization from the Bank of Ghana are, then they list them. I'll read the list again, but before I do that, the bank reiterates that the activities of these entities significantly breach customer data and privacy laws, as well as consumer protection requirements and norms, with unfavorable implications on the integrity and well-being of their patrons. Bank of Ghana will continue to take action against these entities in collaboration with relevant state agencies to promote the integrity of financial service delivery. The general public is thereby advised to desist from doing business with all unlicensed loan providers. Banks, specialized deposit-taking institutions, and payment service providers are cautioned not to facilitate the illegal transactions of unlicensed loan applications. The general public is encouraged to patronize the various types of digital credit products approved by BOG and delivered by banks and specialized deposit-taking institutions in partnership with mobile money operators. These loan facilities are accessed remotely 24/7 through mobile money wallets without the need for collateral. Further, to adhere to the relevant consumer protection and data privacy laws, the general public is advised to consult the bank's website using the link below for the approved list of licensed institutions. It's very simple. Before transacting any business. So in fact, they even give the website. It's a secure website, bog.gh/supervision-regulation/all institutions. Now, when you click on this, it will give you a list. So my point is that if you go online and Jata or Richard Sky and Co. say they'll give you a loan, just go and compare Richard Sky and Co. to that list. If it's not there.
No, you see, that is where the challenge is. How many people will go and do that?
But if you can borrow money online, why can't you check online?
No.
It's the same online place.
You see, no, Bernard, I think the Bank of Ghana, yes, by drawing our attention to the problem, that is good. But it is not good enough. We must pursue these people. We must find them. If we have to write to Google, if we have to write to whichever institution to take steps to address these consumer issues, we have to do it, because not so many people are sophisticated enough to go on the internet to look for the website.
We could talk to Kwame Opon, who's the head of, they said the BOG now has a head of fintech. All right, it's a position that didn't exist. He's a new guy. He's probably been there for 5 years.
Okay.
It's a new position. So a lot of the fintech
is
things
new.
In the context of, it's new. It's new. I mean, BOG has been in existence since 1953 or something. So Kwame Oppong is probably the first head of fintech at BOG.
But he's the one with the most important job.
Now, yeah, but he didn't even sign this statement. This statement was signed by Sandra Thompson, who was the secretary. Now, I'm saying that if you go on the BOG website, they've given you the list of licensed institutions that you can learn from. Guys, look at some of these names. Sometimes when you even see the names,
you should find the guys. Look at the names.
Charlie, I mean, Governor, do you hear the names?
Yeah, Fufu,
Sika
loan.
Kasa, Cash Coco, Keep Loan, Get Wallet, Mom Cash, CD Pros, Credit More, Loan Hub, Pop Cash, Coco Loan, Joy Cash, Chest Loan, Moko, Credit Fee, Rapid CD, Mo Loan, Cool Cash, Loan Papa, Smart Loan, PK Loans, CK Via. They just think of anything. Fee Cash, Daily Cash, Hella Cash. You can even rap with it. CD Fee, Pro Cash, CD Wallet. Charlie was a gold miner. Enjoy Credit.
Cash.
Sunny Cash, Sunny Loan. Hello CD, Cash Pay. Ajinkwa Sika, Personal Loan. Aquaba Cash, Home Credit, Bloom Cash. On Loan, Want Cash, Credit Ghana app. Zip Loan. New Loan Ghana. Mika Cash Loan app. Fund CD Ghana Loan app. Ultra Loan. Sika Bus. And then Kud Loan. Cash Wave. Eagle Cash.
Surprised we don't have
Derive Cash, Top Credit, Fufu Credit, Yo Cash, Bosiapa, Dates Cash, Easy Cash, and some of the cash is C, some is K. So sometimes they even have soft cash with C, soft cash with H, Steady Cash, CD Story, Warren Rapid CD, Kudi Credit, Robin Personal Loan, Robin Hood Verbal, True CD, Quick Cash, Fund Cash, U Cash, Bit Cash, Loan Galaxy, Cash Star, Rapid Money, and my favorite, Cola Cash, Cash Cola. Coco Cash, Lemon Cash, Lemon Wallet, Moku, Coco, Mega Credit, Plus Loan, Money Loan App, Happy Loan, Cash Power Online, Easy Access Loans, plenty. I'm even tired. For Credit, Ghana Lending, Acon Credit, Ghana Loan with GANA, Mbosia, 100 CD, Mo Loan. There's just one called Accra.
Let me. Can I tell you what my thoughts?
Yeah,
said maybe Sky having now kind of created a niche for himself in that. The Bank of Ghana's list deals with. So there's a law that governs online financial institutions.
Transactions.
And is there a law that governs users, that protects users?
Okay, so we do not have a Consumer Protection Act in
this particular space.
No. So that is why there's a lot of agitation now that we should develop a comprehensive consumer protection regime so that even credit systems like that and offerings like that, consumers who go for things like that can be protected. I think we are using traditional legislation in the area of Bank of Ghana, banking regulations, and all of these things to govern these things. But the fact is that the world has moved on from, using these traditional legislations because legislation must respond to the trends we
needs
see.
of the times.
Exactly. And we are sitting down and nothing is happening. You would want to see the ministry responsible for communication, the ministry responsible for business development. Is there no a ministry?
No, that ministry is no longer there.
Oh, it's no longer there. Then who is there now? What's happening there? Who now?
He's been moved to tourism. The ministry has been collapsed.
Oh, okay. You see, because so much is happening in that and we are not catching up. So I think something has
the reason why I'm bringing that angle up, Bernard, is if you look at the users of these illegal online loan apps, look at this message right now.
It's desperation.
Yeah, I'm coming. I'll get to it. So Mike from Sokoban in Kumasi says, these illegal loan app guys give you 200 CDs and expect you to pay 290 CDs in 7 days. If you fail to pay, they then send your pictures to almost all your contacts saying you're a criminal who goes around borrowing money without paying. Very humiliating. What is surprising is the way they have access to all your contacts. This, I know, is against the Data Protection Act, and the government must be very prompt in dealing with these criminals. So my position on the matter is, once perhaps the situation is such that as quickly as the Bank of Ghana is closing these down, 97 more will emerge.
Quickly.
You understand?
They will change the name, right?
They will, irrespective, because that it's something that you cannot really police at the moment. Okay. So you shut them down, new ones will come up. People are desperate, like you said. People need money. This is no collateral loan. So once the economy is squeezing people, people will find ways of finding easy cash to survive. The reason why I am looking at the angle of a law that protects
The
users
user.
is that once you have that framework in place, even these illegal entities know that you cannot do A, B, C, and D if a person takes a loan from you. What it does is once they understand the limitations that the law has imposed, because sharing people's images, calling them criminals.
But Godfrey, is that not the
Yes.
second leg? Because you see, Sky's point is that the illegal guy mustn't even operate.
Yes.
So you are saying let's protect the consumer. The
Yes.
consumer should be protected when they deal with legal entities.
Yes.
And there's also something called the buyer beware. The
Yes.
reason the BOG puts this list out is that if you go and deal
Yes.
with somebody who's not authorized, he's not operating bus or anything. He's just
Yes.
there giving you money.
Yes.
It's almost like saying, and there's a limit to what government. So, for example, if I go and take
I understand
if I go
that.
and take a loan from Nathan,
Yes.
and Nathan decides to put my face on Instagram and shame me because I haven't paid,
Yeah.
who's regulating that?
Yes. But
So the only way the government comes in is because it's on a platform.
Yeah, but what?
So I'm coming. So Sky's angle is that you see, there's a law around. If Nathan gives me money, I can't go and he can't come and beat me up to collect my money. That's civil relationships. All right. But once the thing is on a platform, and the government gives license for somebody to come and operate, is it WhatsApp or Android or whatever, they must work with that organization to ensure that people are not deceived. Using it's like bringing somebody on TV to come and advertise a product. I'm coming to give you something, and when the person comes to buy the thing is wrong. The media house must be responsible. So I think that the more direct way may be Sky. I agree with you that people must be protected, but I don't think any properly licensed loan giver will go and shame you.
Let me read something for you from the Cyber Security Authority, and then I'll continue with my point. Perhaps it might help. It says that if you go to the Cyber Security Authority's website, they have something on cyberbullying by digital lending mobile application owners. The Cyber Security Authority has received reports of cyberbullying experienced by users of digital lending mobile applications. These apps can be found on Google Play Store or may be shared as Android package files, as APK, via social media. There goes on to explain. These apps offer loans at varying interest rates and payment terms. When subscribers default in repayment, they are threatened by the owners of these digital lending apps with having their identities published as wanted persons or fraudsters on various social media platforms and to their contacts. In some cases, the app owners follow through with their threats. Some victims also reported that even though they had not taken such loans, they received the threat messages.
Wow.
Key findings. The commonly reported apps in this scheme include 4Credit, Ficash X, 4CD, Ali Loan, Busiapa, CD Boom, Coco Loan, Mac Loan, Easy Loan, and On Loan.
These licenses, guys.
Yes. The victims would typically have granted these apps permissions during installation, unknowingly or without proper scrutiny, to access their data and personal identifiable information. Example, name, phone number, Ghana card, ID number, contacts, photos, etc., which is where Mike's concern comes in. As in, he doesn't know how these people gain access to all that information. And then it goes on to mention a Bank of Ghana notice that states that has not licensed any company to provide digital lending services of such nature to the public. Then goes on to make recommendations that the public is advised against subscribing to these mobile applications since they are not sanctioned by the Bank of Ghana and the Data Protection Commission. Individuals who patronize these services do so at their own risk. The public is further advised to review access permissions for mobile applications carefully before installing them. So the point I keep making to you is they have been aware of these apps for a very long time. There is a difficulty in policing them. And it is not just a Ghana problem. We've seen this happening in a lot of countries. This is popular in India, it's popular in Indonesia, it's popular in Russia, it's popular in East Africa, it's popular in a lot of countries. And it happens again because of countries that have a lot of poor people who do not have the collateral, who are looking for money. So as 97 go, 97 come.
So it's not a sustainable way of stopping it. But if you look at ways of protecting the user, you might be able to put a dent in the middle because now the person knows that I cannot just publicize this person's image or do this and this to this person only. And at the moment, if I put Richard Scott, there are laws that might deal with me defaming him, right? But then the person might say, well, he owes me, that there might be T's and C's that are actually applied there on the platform that you might not have been aware of, that the person might be able to show to you. That will allow. But if you put in place
a framework that regulates and protects the user of these illegal online platforms, you might be able to halve the problems. You understand me?
Pause there. Let's kind of deal with that. I just wanted to say that, you're saying to protect users of illegal.
That's right.
That's where he's going. You can't. You can't put something on nothing.
No, but the point
it's unlawful conduct, so you can't. You go after the person.
But there has to be an acceptance that we cannot say that we will get rid of them.
All of them.
It is not possible. We are lying to ourselves.
You're saying that
it is not possible.
You work to reduce their proliferation.
Look for ways of protecting. We cannot say because it's illegal, we won't protect them.
No, you see,
that cannot also be our position on the matter.
So Pascal is saying that clamp them down. So, for example, there's something called mystery shopping. BOG can put some interns online to say, go and patronize this loan service, and let's trace the communication. And then you go to where they are based, and you clamp them down, and you jail them.
The people are online.
Yeah, you can find them. They are
you
how? Online, so they can't find
them. People
them.
are publishing the thing online. Why? Don't they have...
Are you saying we don't have okay, for example, the police... For example, has the BOG worked with the police? The police have
the cyber security.
Yes. We have cyber security agencies in Ghana that are working together.
Yes,
I think that the proliferation of this suggests that the regulation is weak.
Yes,
and we are not being proactive.
But
we are being reactive. So we see the list and we probably say
the hosting of these apps and all those things can be done in different ways, without leading to a Bernard Avle or a Richie Sky. Okay, that's how I'm looking at it.
We'll read some quick comments. Now.
Hey, for the one still listening to the Citi Breakfast Show, some messages are coming in. I think a few of them are clarifying how some of these platforms get your contact, because it looks like in the sign-up process, if you don't allow them access,
the protocols,
so the TNCs.
So people, they say they get access to your contacts through the app. The app will tell you to share your contact with them. If you refuse, then you can't continue.
Yeah, you see, our Data Protection Act imposes an obligation. First of all, what they are doing is illegal, because as the Bank of Ghana has stated, and the statement you read from the Cybersecurity Authority, these two show that these guys are acting illegally. So we should arrest them and prosecute them.
Yeah.
You understand? What they are doing, they have no business doing it, but they are doing it nonetheless. Now, where you get access to a person's data, you have no business sharing that data with the public. You are required under the Data Protection Act to guard it with your life. In fact, there are institutions of state that may even require you in some cases, or may insist that provide the data, where they do not provide lawful authority, even from a court of law. You are not to hand it over.
But here is a situation where a part of the agreement between the two parties is that you will grant me access to your data.
No, yes. So you see, that's what I'm saying now. Receiving a person's data is one thing, but sharing it with the public in the name of enforcing an unlawful term, it makes it even worse. Because first of all, you are not. The law doesn't require you. Doesn't allow you to act the way you are doing, which is doing your business. Secondly, you got someone's data because the person consented to it. Then you moved on from there to now share it with the public because you have access to that data. Our institutions must up their game. But if it would require going into a conversation with Google, if it would require going into a conversation with, Apple Store, or is it, how do you guys call it? Is it App Store?
Yeah.
If you require that level of engagement, we must do it. Because it is like the folks who were previously acting in Doma and all of these places who were doing the one that created a bit DKM and all of that. It looks like they have moved from the physical space
now to the online space.
The online space. And that is dangerous. And because these things operate on the basis of, oh, Godfred has come to tell me that, oh, Charlie, I go organize my body for this shark loan.
Give me a quick one.
Charlie, they give me a quick one. So you go feel run your body for that. So people are moving into that space. And I think that, huge institutions like MTN should be interested in this particular space because these
illegal.
Yeah, they are a threat to them because look, I mean, they are running a behemoth of an institution, financial institution, in the online space because of the mobile money thing they are doing. Of course, the Vodafone Cash and all of these others. So there should be some interest from these, lawfully operating institutions within the space to support, so that if we will require funding, I mean, I'm sure they are making a decent amount of money and they can afford to support, state institutions that may be cash-strapped to deal with guys like this. It cannot be right. It cannot be right. So it is not enough, in my view, that statements have been issued saying that, oh, we are warning you against these people. We must find evidence on the net. There must be electronic trail left somewhere. I believe we have guys with the brains who can be assembled to look into these matters, find the people, the faces behind them, get them arrested, prosecute them with the speed of light, and put them away for a good number of years, so that we'll reduce this thing. Because it can't. No, it's not right. It's not right at all.
I don't know. I whatever happens, you have the Bank of Ghana coming out to say, okay, don't deal with these people, but
it's not enough.
Yeah.
The animal that is hungry, for India, he doesn't know what death is. So it will go and do this. People need money.
That is true.
So don't give them the supply.
Yeah, my concern has to do with, somebody said that some of the messages have gone on to give details of how you can upload an app or publish an app and all of that. Shouldn't there be a secondary form of security that maybe the Bank of Ghana can look into that before, if you are doing this app, and you say you want to get into this financial space, we'll have to regulate you, that kind of. Well, I think that will have to call for some collaboration between.
No, the people don't want to do regulation. It is like those days back in the day. You have people in the community who are loan sharks.
Yeah.
What they do is that, okay, you need how much? You say, well, I need 10,000 Ghana cedis. He'll give you 10,000 Ghana cedis. He says that come and pay back in a month's time, but the interest is 40%, right? Because you are desperate, you go for this loan. Now, strictly speaking, the two of you have entered into a contract, and he will seek to enforce it against you. But he doesn't have the lawful authority to do what he's doing. So they go, it sees your car, or you are doing your wedding, they come and embarrass you. Yeah, they embarrass you in front of the bride. All kinds of things have been happening in the name of, my ball busia and you've not paid. You don't have the authority. In fact, you have no authority to lend money out to somebody when you have not been properly registered to do.
So as a company, you cannot lend money.
Exactly. So these guys, for some reason, have found a new space to operate in, which is online. And because people are desperate, they go online quickly, search for these things, download them, and so the Bank of Ghana and Cyber Security Authority, Ministry of Communication, Ministry of Information. They have a lot of work to do in this place.
Let's go through some of the messages before we take it.
Hello, guys. All loans granted in the jurisdiction have to undergo credit reference checks from a licensed credit bureau in Ghana. Yes. These apps do not run loan checks of applicants. I know of a credit bureau that has the adequate capacity to service all these online apps if the regulator ensures that these apps do the right thing. Hello, guys. I know one at Ajingano. The agent told me they claim to be paying their SNIF for them every month, and they therefore deduct the money from their commissions every month. But meanwhile, the agents don't even have SNIF numbers. Albert says those fake loan apps need to be fished out. Their interest is too high. Good morning, guys. I think the instructions should be out. If they're operating legally, just wanting the citizens in this hard economy to stay away from the apps, I think won't be effective. Some of them keep changing their names to beat the system. They have ads to lure people on almost all social media platforms. A friend contemplated suicide because of this. Had we not acted in time to save him, it would have been the worst. Good morning, guys. These loan apps are normally pop-up ads when using social platforms like Facebook, football pages, and others. This one says these apps are only an issue with those who take money and don't want to pay. We that pay, they help a lot. Allow them. After the single account at BOG for all.
The young man doesn't even know that he deserves any better.
Our banks will sit up and do proper retail banking since windfall cash will cease. So Kofi says this is the way to go for him.
It's a consequence of the banking sector not being too nice.
Good morning, guys. I'm a victim of these scammers. There was one called Bay Credit and Busiapa. In fact, they've defrauded me recently and they are still calling me. They have registered over 20 FTN numbers and they will call you, son.
So they registered. So it should be possible to trace who is behind it.
Nee says, we let regulators get away with doing the bare minimum. Predatory and licensed loan companies are targeting people and the BOG sends a warning when illegalities are happening. Imagine if DVLA adopted this lukewarm attitude towards unlicensed drivers. And finally, someone says, companies who want to do legitimate businesses have been frustrated by the BOG not giving our license to operate. You apply to do the loan business and you wait for almost 9 months. If you refuse to license, people continue to do business. Okay. And this one is finally, okay, I think 2 more. Please check on the free-to-air TV stations. They're all over. This tells us the NCA is not working.
Can you imagine?
And George, finally from Spintech, says, on this matter of unlicensed loan apps, I think the telco's Memo division can help curb the proliferation since the loan distribution channel is through mobile money.
And you know, there's this one that came in. It says that, good morning, Mr. Avila. I hope you're doing well. About 2 years ago, a friend of mine took a loan from an illegal lending agency. Unfortunately, he ended up paying more than 3 times the initial amount he borrowed from them. Now, these individuals will frequently call and threaten him, even though he insisted he had paid off the debt in full. Regrettably, he continued paying them until he confided in me. Fast forward to last year, I received a phone call from a representative of one of these money lending apps. They informed me that my name had been used by my friend as a guarantor. Can you imagine? Curious, I inquired about their operating location, to which they replied, Labone, which is here in Accra. Without hesitation, I informed the person that I had reported them to the police and that legal action was being pursued. What followed was a rather unsettling response from the individual. He laughed and said, "You think you can catch us? There are many of us. You won't succeed." Since that encounter, they haven't contacted my friend again. So you see, it's a huge economy out there, it would seem. And because of the desperation, people are going for it. I think our authorities must up their game. They must up their game. Because seriously, no.
Yeah, it's just so cool. Anyway, you're still listening to the Citi Breakfast Show. Now, if you want a British degree from a world-class university at the fraction of the cost, then join Lancaster University, Ghana, right here in Accra. You experience a diverse student community, vibrant campus life, and 50% scholarship to support your study. Now, admissions are currently open for the October 2023 intake. Apply now for our foundation and undergrad programs. Call 030-218-989 or send an email to admissions@lancaster.edu.gh. Lancaster University, Ghana, the only British university campus in West Africa. Now, the ECG is informing their cherished customers that those who have paid up for the new service and separate meter service provision, that they should visit their respective ECG district offices to be served. Customers should please note and take along their receipts of payment and any national ID card to ascertain their IDs and for the necessary official process and documentation. ECG is reminding everybody that customers who are caught in any form of illegality will be charged with the criminal offense of stealing in accordance with the law, and their names to be widely published. Help ECG to serve you better. And if you've been dreaming of owning your own home, then we've got exciting news for you. At Pearson Properties, we believe that trust is key when it comes to building homes. That's what we offer. Beautiful living spaces that you can trust. With our flexible payment plans, you will enjoy your dream home without hurting your pocket. Locate Serenidad at New Achimota, just a 10-minute drive from the New Achimota Mall. You can get in touch with Pearson Properties on 0553-0155-609 or visit pearsonproperties.org. At Pearson, we build trust before homes. Now, dad is a son's first hero and a daughter's first love. Come on over this Father's Day and let's celebrate the pride of fatherhood together at Peduasi Valley Resort. We have a delightful lunch buffet with live band music at only 400 cedis and dinner buffet with live band music at 300 cedis for you and your families to dine at our Baobab restaurant. And don't miss out on our fantastic room and spa packages that run from the 12th to the 26th of June to give our heroes the treat they deserve. For inquiries or reservations, call 054 0125555 or 0540 125554. Peduasi Valley Resort, live life. Now, when was the last time you heard interest rate, 10% interest rate collateral, free loan, and 1 million cedis in the same sentence? Never, right? Now, if you're a female entrepreneur, young business owner, or you are into agribusiness or you're a fintech, there's great news for you. In collaboration with the MasterCard Foundation, ABSA is offering SME loans at only 10% per annum to help you move your business to the next level. Get in touch with the ABSA SME Project Office or get to them at Ridge in Accra, the nearest ABSA branch, or their website absa.com.gh to find out more. That's Africanacity, that's ABSA. Are you getting good insights from your data for decision making? Join the data analytics revolution and empower your team to work smart, save time, and deliver insights from data using the world's most powerful business tools, Microsoft Excel and Power BI. Talk to Finex Skills Hub. They'll give you practical training, whether you're a corporate or an individual, in Excel for work, data analytics, and financial modeling to help you improve productivity at the office. Register now via finexskillshub.com or call 0244 782356 to sign up for their corporate and individual training sessions. Finex Skills Hub, learn, connect, grow. Still listening to the Citi Breakfast Show. We'll be speaking to our very good friends from the University of Ghana School of Law in a bit. And then after that, we'll give you today's serving of the on-air series in terms of the City Business Month.
I'll be that job. You be cool, side no damaging. And your girl, oh she did, she just chop a birthday.
We're speaking to Taka Awori on building a great SME team. Happening a little later on the show. So please stick and stay.
A day like a no day. I just choke cool, one corner the wedge payday. Inshallah, this year they are for marry. The Yanum no people Sunday, my Gary. Ha ha, hee, I be you, Bob. Make we link up, better time, be you, Bob. 0 CDs in my savings, but at least we the money. I don't pay the lights bill, but at least we the money. Job side hard small, but at least we the money. For do, we the money. Oh, capiche, we the money. Still the mommy in house, but you. No, and you owe me. I'm blessed and highly favored. Even today, I did morning devotion with my neighbors. Are you still with your boy? I had to leave him in a haste. So no dear, girl be all chest sketchy and it tastes but a waste. Anyway, my new guy, I met him in church. Bible studies, God fearing. I think it works. And you owe me. Right now, I'm focused on my studies, getting my 3rd degree. Steady, but someone prop. It's always worrying me. I don't want to agree. You changed my grade A to a B. Oh ho, Ghana, impending, bunning, same thing happened in my uni. Oh ho. Well, you bet fun it. See you later. Why? 0 CDs in my savings, but at least we the money. I don't pay the lights bill, but at least we the money. Job side hard small, but at least we the money. For do we the money. Oh capiche, we the money. Still the mommy in house, but you know we the money. Fall asleep with my doubts, but you know we the money. Visa bounce, but if we get some pounds, we go manage. We the manage. Make I take you to a little illustration. Show you two Ghanaians in a conversation. We like to talk, you would think that it's an occupation. So managers, ladies nation. Charlie, I see you keep. When be the last time? You hear the coffee die. Oh, side. What happened now? This one some way. Oh no, make great drawing wife left from heartbreak. Back coffee pan, same Ghana we day inside. Last time I see him, everything cool for inside. We even go car park, he show me a new ride. Pictures on the phone, big wedding house, new bride. Should be said, Kofi couldn't cut his coats. According to his size, happiness a joke. Same Ghana that we did.
8:58, still listening to the Citi Breakfast Show. So like I said, we'll be talking to our very good friends from the University of Ghana School of Law.
How are you?
We have all kinds of great things happening there. So I've been joined by Rachel Hazel, who's a lecturer. We actually have a room full of lecturers, actually. We have Rachel Hazel, Kweku Bwedu, Zainab Bayarga, and William Demitia. All right, good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Citi Breakfast Show. How are we doing?
Good morning.
We're fine?
Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Now it's another academic year. You're taking in students into the University of Ghana School of Law. And we do know that you are inviting applications for your recently launched 19 twin programs in LLM and MA and your traditional post-first degree program. So let's... last year, I remember we had the same conversation about your newly introduced LLMs and all the new programs. How's it been? 1 year on, how will you review what you've been doing so far?
For me, it's been exciting. That's the only word I can use. It's been exciting. It's been challenging, but it's been good. Our students are happy with what we have been able to do so far. Whatever we promised, we've delivered on our promises. So for my part, it's been great.
Okay.
It's been excellent.
1,400 students in the 1,400 students in the first cohorts across all the programs. It's been patronized extremely well. Very, very well.
I see. Wonderful. 1 year on, it's been good. This year you've also opened entries for the 19 twin programs and the traditional post-first degree program. What are these 19 programs? If you could just remind us, for somebody who doesn't know or is hearing this for the very first time, what are these 19 programs on offer?
The alternative dispute resolution, there's corporate and commercial law, there's energy law, policy and practice, there's financial markets law and regulation, there's gender and the law, there's health law and ethics, there's human rights law and practice. Then there is information technology law, international law, labor law, law and development, law and practice of public administration, law for micro, small, and medium-scale enterprises, law of the sea and oceans governance, maritime law, national security law and practice, natural resources law, paralegal practice, and last but not the least at all, tax law, policy, and practice.
Great. So very interesting topics, very pertinent topics, tax and all of that. For somebody who's listening and is interested and wants to be part of this October intake, what would they need to apply, or what kind of qualifications would they need to enter such a program?
So applications are open to 2 categories of persons, because we're running what we call the twin program, the MA, Masters of Arts, and then the LLM, Masters in Law. Now, for the MA program, a first degree in any field qualifies you to apply for the program. And then for the LLM, an LLB is your pre-qualification to apply to the program.
Okay.
Now, for the MA also, if you have a relevant area, is good. But if not, we have other ways by which we assess persons who are eligible for the MA program.
All right.
One such prerequisite may be persons who are already in the industry, so they have the industry experience. However, they don't have the requisite background before getting into, you know how it is here. You enter a job and then they say, okay, so this is how you do it this way, do it that way. And then eventually you learn on the job. So these are people that we are looking for, so they can also apply in that regard.
So you're looking for people who have professional knowledge but lack the theoretical understanding of what they do.
One category.
Okay,
Yes.
I see. That's great. Somebody's asking, will there be any entry exams, interviews, all of that?
Well, thank you very much. For the LLM MA program, there's no entry exam. However, depending on the area you're applying to or the particular program, there may be an interview.
I see.
That would be necessary because probably the number of applicants may exceed
the
class size,
or the space we have. Or they may also want to use that as a means to also rope in people who may have a third class in the bachelor's, who ordinarily will not qualify to read it. But based on relevant experience and others, we may want to do an interview to see the person's suitability. So for the interview, it's very possible there will be, but there's no entrance exam.
Okay. Now, in terms of the lectures, what should one expect if I sign up? How would in which form would the lectures be delivered, or what should I expect when I show up in class?
Lectures are hybrid, so it's either in person or online. So students elect how to attend lectures.
Okay.
All lectures are recorded. So if for whatever reason you are unable to show up physically, it means that you will find a connection and attend online. But if for some reason you are unable to attend at all, then you look for the recording and make sure that you have participated in the class. We kind of discourage that, but we make room for it just in case.
Because there will be those exceptional cases where
so
somebody just can't make it for very genuine reasons. Will there be support if somebody has difficulty in applying? I'm trying to apply, I'm hitting roadblocks, I can't get through. Is there any helpline, anybody somebody can speak to resolve those kinds of challenges?
Yes, you can reach out. All the information you would want would be found on our website, www.law.ug.edu.gh. However, if you need assistance, you can reach out to our people on the following line: 053 128 2413, 053 133 0203, also 020 319 8444, and 0244 75 9997. So either you're on the website or you can reach out to us on any of these numbers, and we'll gladly assist you.
I see.
So how to go through the process.
I see. Great stuff. Just final words as we wrap it up. For somebody who's listening and this has piqued their interest, what would you tell them?
The fees.
It's
very important.
For lots of people, that is the deal breaker, deal maker or deal breaker.
Yes, it's very affordable. 25,000 Ghana cedi for the whole year. It even includes the application fees. So, and you don't have to pay all at a go. You can pay half at the commencement of the semester or the program, and then you can pay the rest later. So we have payment plans and payment options for those who cannot afford to raise the 25,000 within the year.
Okay.
So that's one of the things.
And what I would like to add is the University of Ghana has invested a lot in recruiting lecturers for this program.
Okay.
19 programs.
The 19
yeah.
new programs.
Okay. But in addition to that, we're getting impressive cooperation from industry because we're running the program as a university industry collaboration. So for specialized topics, for my part, for instance, IT law, we are talking of internet governance, and Professor Queno is sitting in the classroom. Can you imagine that? You just can't get it anywhere. Professor Queno himself is sitting in the classroom. Okay, Governor of Bank of Ghana has designated somebody to come and teach us on fintech. Okay, we have the NCA bringing lecturers.
Okay.
We have the Right to Information Commission. We have the data. So we are getting, and it's across all the programs. And in addition to that, we also have foreign lecturers who also come in with specific expertise.
Wonderful. Just one question. Somebody's asking, if they're outside Ghana, how can they apply or enroll? I don't know if I got the question right.
Yeah, so please go online, www.law.ug.edu.gh. You'll get all the information you need. And please let's re-emphasize. Due to Mr. Kweku Bodu and his team's innovation, we do not accept paper applications. Everything is online.
with the
Everything is online.
Everything,
Every single thing.
Everything is online. So if he's outside and wants to apply, he can get all the information and do all the applications online.
I
So
see.
that's something.
In this cohort, we have foreign students.
Yes.
Okay.
Students from Ivory Coast attending.
Who are coming in.
Yeah.
Somebody's asking whether it's during weekdays, weekends. That's a message on my board.
So basically, the lectures run evenings, Mondays to Fridays.
Mondays to Fridays.
Yes, so evenings from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Currently at the City campus of the University of Ghana, which is very close to the Ministry of Information. We chose that as a central location so that people don't have to journey all the way to Legon with all the traffic, driving 2 hours to lectures when they close at 5. So we thought that was a very centralized point. And so 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. There may be some days when you may have to have lectures or some tutorials ahead of that time, but that is flexible, and the lecturers and the students will agree on that. But it's weekdays.
Okay, great stuff. Yes.
Finally, so in addition to industry corporations, we also have quite a lot of corporations. We've tried in the first year of the program to have corporations with schools outside of Ghana. So currently we have some collaborations, partnerships with Columbia Law School. So in the next academic year, we are expecting that some of our students on some of the programs would be able to spend some time abroad. So maybe you can call it a semester abroad or a week or two abroad, to have that international feel with respect to the exposure, with respect to the courses they are running. And some of these may include our corporate and commercial law students, ADR students, and others. And this may come at zero fees to the students. But if there's anything, of course, certainly the students will have to take care of.
I'll take care of that. Great. Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us. Those were our very good friends from the University of Ghana Law School. We had Rachel Hazel, Kweku Boedu, Zaina Bayarga, and William Demitia. They've been talking about this year's cohort. They are trying to put together the cohort for this year. They take in more students. They have 19 LLM MA twin programs. And they started last year. Last time, I remember we had the same conversation. So they are back here.
This year.
The deadline.
It was actually this year.
It was this year.
Yes,
it was
January.
January. Yeah. So application deadline is 30th June.
30th June.
Yes.
So people don't have too much time. They need to start working quickly. Yes. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us, and wish you the very best ahead of the new academic year.
Thank you.
Into the future with you, I'm not gonna leave you at the end of the road. Give me your love and you know it's safe. Baby, never listen to what them say. Into the future with you, I'm not gonna leave you at the end of the road. Give me your love and you know it's safe. Baby, never listen to what them say. Me give her something with the sweet and ginger. She never get it mad and see, cause she call me every man. He say she
9/11. Still listening to the Citi Breakfast Show. We'll take a very quick break. When we come back, we'll give you the Thursday morning serving of our honor series for the Citi Businessman. Today we are speaking with Taka Awori on how to build a great SME team, how to build a great SME winning team. All of that and more coming up after this short break. This is still the Citi Breakfast Show. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show.
My name is Francisca Schroeder. Fobaska deals with stationery items, and it takes a lot of funds to run. ABSA, formerly Barclays, has been my banker and has been very helpful to me. My relationship manager came to my shop after checking my turnover and records, said I could apply for a loan and training under the ABSA Young African Works program, and it was very exciting. I will encourage other entrepreneurs to join Works program to take their business to the next level. ABSA Medase.
This partnership is in collaboration with MasterCard Foundation. That's Africanacity. That's ABSA.
The other day, I visited Kweku at his spunky new office to congratulate him on opening his business. And man, was I impressed. The business is just moving quick. The sales, customers, everything is just working seamlessly. The secret? He said,
It's MTN Business Broadband. In this fast-paced environment, we need fast and reliable internet to support all business types. No laggy online meetings, great download and upload speeds, impeccable business management systems, all inclusive. I mean, you can have it all.
Shout! I signed on immediately.
To enable your business stay ahead and stay connected, make sure you're signed on to the best internet made just for businesses. MTN Business Broadband. Sign up today on broadband.mtn.com.gh and manage your account on my MTN app. Call 0244 308 111 for more information. We are good together everywhere you go.
It does get better anytime your favorite shop, Melcom, says it's there for you and got you covered with all your daily need items. Continue shopping on products ranging from groceries, stationery, electronics, homeware, kitchenware, furniture, home decor, electricals, and many more at low prices. Terms and conditions apply. Melcom, where Ghana shops.
Anytime is a good time to have a break. Introducing Munchie Anytime Crackers. It's perfect for break times, party times, movie times, and snack times. Savor the moment. Enjoy Munchie Anytime Crackers anytime. Munchie Anytime Crackers. It's light and tasty.
This outfit is FDA approved.
Jimmy D, there's no need to stand in line to get your money. Don't waste your time waiting for the bank to be open. With ZPay Mobile Money, you can redeem your MoneyGram Cash Pickup token directly into your ZPay Mobile Money wallet. And now, every first-time user gets 10 Ghana cedis plus airtime as a welcome bonus. Access your money whenever, wherever. Just dial *270# and select option 7 for MoneyGram. Jimmy D, boundless possibilities. Terms and conditions apply.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
Welcome to another edition of the On Air series for the Citi Business Edition. This week we're focusing on SMEs. And today we're talking about how to build a winning SME team. My guest is one of our favorites from Busara, Africa, in the person of Taka. Taka, good to have you.
I'm always excited to be here with you, Bernard.
You're always up to something new. Always up to something. How are you doing?
I'm well, busy,
Wonderful.
but well.
Helping people develop.
Yes, indeed. Bringing out the best in them as leaders.
Wonderful. And you are a people person. So your organization adds value to people.
For sure.
Wonderful.
For sure.
We want to talk about SMEs and team building. Usually when we talk of team building, we discuss big teams.
Yes.
So large organizations, they talk organizational development. But I feel SMEs, the ones I interact with, they struggle with keeping people.
Yes.
And a lot of my friends who run SMEs say, Bernard, how do I train somebody, I get him into the team, he gets all the skills, and then he disappears.
Yes.
So so maybe we need to start thinking about these small organizations and how they manage people as well.
Yes, indeed. And maybe one of the things we also need to think about is when people come and go, it's how do you institutionalize knowledge, culture, systems, processes, so that everything is not dependent on one person. And that's usually the challenge we have as SMEs. It's all about one person who has all the skills in their heads. So I think that's a key thing. We need to institutionalize, put systems in place so that as people come and go, and that will happen. That's just a reality. People come in, you can't pay them as much, they move into bigger institutions. So recognize that we're at your level. You may be a stepping stone to other organizations. You make peace with that and just make sure that you don't lose when they move on.
We've had a bit of that, and I'll ask you about that later. But let's start with definitions. When we say a winning team, what do we mean?
Okay. So it's also important to distinguish between a team and a group. And so I always say a team, a group of people who perform interdependent tasks to achieve a shared goal. So people just sitting in an office all together, that doesn't necessarily make them a team. So if they have a shared purpose and they're somewhat interdependent. So they could be functional. So the production, your whole production group here, I see, could be a team, because they're all, their particular sales department, that's a functional group. Or a team could be a group that you pull together here at Citi FM to say, okay, we're having the boot camp. So we need about 4 or 5 people who are going to be focused for 5 months to plan, execute, and they may come from different departments to make it happen. That's a team that's focused around a task. So that's what we mean by a team. Now, you really asked me about a winning team, because not every team is a winning team. Some are very dysfunctional teams. So 3 things make a team a winning team. Number 1, they achieve sustained results. So not just results today, hey, hi, and then things go wrong and then they can't. So achieve sustained results. Number 2, they maintain team resilience. Because we recognize no matter what challenges will come. So when challenges come, how resilient is the team to be able to bounce, not just back, but forward? And the final thing, they're vital. And this is important in terms of, when I mean they have vitality, let me clarify that. It means they have a lot of positive energy. And the reason I emphasize this, Bernard, is because I've seen teams that can achieve results, but they're toxic. I mean, by the time people have worked with that team to put on a show to achieve this thing, they're burnt out, they're stressed, and they're on verge of... That's not the kind of vitality that we're talking about.
I like the resilience, because that suggests they've been through challenges. And they've been through fights together. And they're still... So it means a team... one of the ways in which a group becomes a team is also overcoming adversity together.
For sure. And learning how to do that, because that's not always self-evident.
So as I said, some of the leaders I talk to complain about different things, but have you been able to isolate some of the key challenges leaders have with teams?
Yes. Lots, for sure. But let me bring out 3 that I've seen. One of the first ones is, and I may ask you if you've had to deal with this one before, particularly given the business that you're in, is managing star players or divas who won't play nice. They don't collaborate, they're egocentric, they don't deliver, they deliver results, so we don't hold them accountable. Do you know, I remember one of the toughest questions you asked me. It could have been about 7 years ago, and you said, Taka, what do you do? And you asked me, Taka, do you watch football? And then you said, what do you do in a situation where you have one player who always scores goals, but in terms of values, he treats the other players like dirt, he doesn't share, he doesn't respect time. But they deliver results.
What do you do?
What do you do? And it's the same thing I've seen sometimes in this business. So you may have one key host or a key person.
Look, I used to be like that a lot. So usually morning show hosts are the prima donnas.
There you go.
So the MD would not shout at you because you're the goose that lays the golden egg.
There you go.
So when sales comes with a challenge, you are always like difficult to work with.
There you go.
Programs, there's always tension. And sometimes the host can play between the two sides. So sales want to drive numbers. Programs also want audience. And then you have the host basically just incorrigible.
There you go.
But because his personality is so strong, people listen. So a lot of morning show hosts have that tendency. So I can say for many years I was...
Oh, wow.
So, and of course, as you mature into the job, you sort of get it. And then there are different ways of honing that. But So I won't even point fingers.
You can look at yourself.
I am that man.
You were that
I was
man.
that man.
You see? And it's powerful that you have matured beyond that. But many don't. So you can imagine what a headache that was at the time to manage you. Because you bring in revenue. So it keeps leaders awake at night. So that's one. So the divas, prima donnas.
Okay.
The second one is about managing conflict within the team. And there are all kinds of conflicts. There's task-based conflict, where as long as you and I are interdependent, because that's the whole thing about being in a team. So in order for me to achieve results, I need you to do X, Y, Z. So if you don't do it, then I'm drop the ball. So it's those kinds of conflicts. There's work style conflicts. You can imagine I might be a lastminute.com type person, whereas you might be somebody who wants things done early. That might bring a conflict, but also personalities. So managing inherent conflict that comes by just having people who are different, doing different things. That's another huge stress. And what I see too many leaders do is they avoid.
Yeah.
They just don't deal with it. So it becomes bigger issues. So that's one. That's the second. The third big one I've seen is where there's a lack of trust within the team. So little things start fostering, they become issues, then people don't trust each other. They don't share information. They don't feel like each other have their back. So you as a leader, you come and you're like, why was this thing not done? And they're like, oh, well, so-and-so didn't share information. When you start to ask, well, why didn't they share information? Why didn't you help so-and-so out? Somehow they don't trust each other. So those are some of the common challenges.
My reflection on that, for the issue of conflict, as you said, you try and deal with it when it's small before it gets big.
That's it.
So a lot of times when you notice that this could become a problem, we don't wait for it to get big. That's what I try to do. Because don't forget, I work with a team. I work with many teams, hosting a morning show for almost that number of years.
Yeah.
So one of the things is there could be conflict. Maybe this guy, he interrupted this guy during the show and he didn't get a bad. So you try and resolve. So usually when you have like a daily post-show meeting, you don't allow the issue to
fester.
Exactly.
This is it. So it's a key learning as a leader to deal with issues early.
When they are early,
when they're small,
and when they're small.
Early and small, and sometimes at the right time.
Yes.
You know, don't delay, but wait for the right time.
You're right, because sometimes, so you need to pick the best time.
Yes.
So because there are times maybe the mood is still sore.
Too bad, yes.
So when the person's in a good mood. And then the other thing about trust is, I feel like the most important attribute a leader needs is trust.
Yes.
So especially within my team, if they don't trust that I mean well, or that I have thought about what they want to do. So sometimes I can do something that hurts them, but because they trust me, they let it go. And I think that if I lose that's it. But that's my
sometimes, but also you have to build that trust. They have to have it amongst each other.
Yes.
Otherwise, they don't support each other. They don't have each other's backs. They undermine each other. That's why the trust becomes so important.
We're talking to Taka Awori, and we're looking at building winning teams for SMEs, but really for all kinds of companies. She's already separated or distinguished a group from a team, given the features and some common challenges that leaders face. This is not an exhaustive list. There are many, many challenges as well.
Sure.
So what should a leader do?
Okay, to get a winning team.
Yes.
Many things, but I'm going to pick out very quickly 5. So the first one is one I always sing about. It's from Jim Collins. Get the right people on the bus. When you have the opportunity, select who joins. And when you have the opportunity to select who joins the team, select well, choose well. Too often, we look just on experience and skills. We're looking at that nice CV. This one has a PhD from where, MBA from where. And yes, experience and skills and certifications matter. But you must also pay attention to values and attitudes. Culture fit. So if you're particularly focusing on teamwork, a good principle that I picked up from Patrick Lencioni is he says, look for people who are humble, hungry, and smart.
I like that.
Humble because they've managed their egos, so they're willing to collaborate and work with others. Hungry because they're eager to learn constantly. They want to make a difference. They're not just set in their ways. And finally, naturally, you want folks who they're smart.
So humble, hungry,
and smart. Patrick Lencioni.
I have to write that down.
Because these are people who always be more concerned about the greater good than their own. So select well. Again, when we invest too much time on degrees and experience, so focus on that fit. But that also means then burnout. That if someone is not the right fit, they're not being a good team player.
They gotta go.
They gotta go. You gotta get them off the bus. So learn how to get people off the bus. So that's the first one. Second one is about let's continue with the bus metaphor, getting the right people in the right seats.
Okay.
I know you're such a football fan, so let me just use that football and disgrace myself. They're in the right positions. Avoid putting square pegs into round holes. And then once you've done that, make sure everybody's clear about who's doing what. It seems so obvious, but I've seen so much conflict in teams where it's like, but I thought I was supposed to do that, but you told so-and-so to do that. But this one is taking my job. He's too known. Why is he doing all of that? So this avoids role conflict. But also people need to appreciate the interdependence of what they do. That becomes particularly key. How have you had to struggle with this one in terms of getting right people in the...
So I have two challenges. Because of what I do, I see people different. So I'm a morning show host.
Okay.
So I am looking for people who can help me deliver a conversation.
Okay.
Sometimes other people in the leadership are looking for different things. So one of the things we need to do is to synchronize our objectives, right? So for example, if you have a management team of a sales manager, a programs manager, a general manager, an HR manager discussing somebody to come and join me on the show, they are all solving from different parts. One of the things we try and do is to make sure you're on the same page.
There you go.
All right. Otherwise, we would all be, because when I was in investment, I remember we had an executive committee where we're sort of choosing people to replace us. And there were lots of arguments because the secretary was looking for somebody who could do this. So everybody was looking for different people.
Yes.
So that's one. In my own choice of people to work with me, chemistry is very important. Chemistry is very important because it's very informal. So even though we're discussing national issues, you don't necessarily have to be tight friends, but it has to be
you have to flow. There needs to be, yes.
Because the cream flows to the top. So the best way to spawn good ideas is to have a conversation. So for example, during the commercial break, we're having a random conversation. Then something will come out. So I look out for those things, right? If I'm looking for a numbers guy, I don't just want somebody who's just good behind a machine and can type a lot. I want somebody who is relatable because people can feel that.
Yeah, but do you see what you therefore have? You have clarity about what you're looking for.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And too often, I find that as SMEs, we don't invest enough time in that clarity. Or if when we do, because we may not be able to afford to pay for the kind of quality we're looking for, we go for, cheap and cheerful. But really, it's not what we're looking for. And so sometimes you need to get creative. So you might decide, this is what I'm looking for. I can't afford them full-time, but maybe I could afford them part-time while they do other things.
So we're also very flexible. That's a very good point because I noticed that in the talent industry, some of the best people do a lot of things.
Yes.
So you have to create space. I mean, one of my guys is a lawyer. He's doing his law.
Yes.
Another one writes for a certain magazine globally. They're doing all kinds of things because if you want to assemble the best, and the economy we're in, you have to be flexible.
That's it.
Right? But the point is that they should also not be skiving.
Yes, you have to manage them well.
So you can't kind of say, okay, well, I'm doing this, that, and that, and that, yeah. So I'm just going to give you 5 minutes of my time.
Yes.
When you are here, you have to be here.
Be fully here.
Because I respect you first, and then you need to respect me as well.
Yes.
So that understanding has to be there.
Yes.
So that, yes, you are not here all day,
the time,
but when you are here, you have to be here.
To be fully here.
Yes.
And have clear deliverables and expectations.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a whole art to managing. It's like how you manage people who work remotely. It's not the same way as having them all the time.
Yeah. We'll take a break here and come back. We're talking to Taka Awori. We're just working our way through building winning teams for SMEs. Very, very important principle. She said, get the right people on the bus. We like the bus analogy. We're still within the point 2 or principle 2 of role selection and clarity. We'll deal with that when we come back and continue with other points. Stay with us.
The biggest business festival in Ghana is on. Mark your calendars this June as we bring you the Citi Business Festival 2023. The running theme for this year's festival is Make It Ghana. It's going to be a month-long conversation on how to grow, improve, and expand your business with seasoned industry experts. Join the weekly business forum every Tuesday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. live on Citi TV for discussions on various thematic areas each week, beginning with Week 1, reimagining the digital economy. Week 2, building resilient SME brands. Week 3, the changing phase of the Ghanaian retail market. And Week 4, understanding and leveraging agribusiness value chain. needs. Also, tune in every weekday at 9:05 a.m. for the Citi Business Festival on-air series on the Citi Breakfast Show on 97.3 Citi FM to acquire the information you need to kickstart and strengthen your business. There will be a lesson for every business on the Citi Business Festival 2023 this June, only on Citi TV, 97.3 Citi FM, citibusinessnews.com, and on CNR Digital. The Citi Business Festival 2023 is powered by Citi TV and Citi FM and is proudly sponsored by MTN.
Welcome back to day 4 of our week 2. We're talking SME. My guest, Taka Awori, Busara Africa, leading self, leading others with wisdom.
Yes.
She's released a new book, Leadership in Africa, a great read, less than 300 pages, about 280 something. You need to get that book and read. Really, really insightful book. Today we're talking about building a winning team from the SME's perspective. So on principle 2, you spoke about role selection and clarity. And I shared my own views about this. You said avoid putting square pegs in round holes.
Yeah.
What else do you have to say about the second principle?
I would just say that make sure people understand the interdependence of their roles. Again, we're talking about teams. Too many people want to act again like they're the individual soul. So getting people to recognize that what you deliver, what you do will affect other people. So yes, you need to have clarity on what your role is, but understand how your role will then affect somebody else's role. So be mindful of that.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Now let's come to the third principle.
So this is one that often we haven't been so used to, but it's around focusing on collective results.
Okay.
Now, for many of us who've been working in the formal space, we're used to holding people accountable on individual results. So continue to do that. So for instance, for you, Bernard, for each of the people that you're managing, continue to have individual objectives that you set at the beginning of the year and then you hold them accountable on that. But what I'm saying is to build a winning team, you complement that with establishing collective team results.
Wow.
Now imagine, therefore, that means you will complement the individual appraisals with team appraisals.
Wow.
So at the end of the year, and then we're going to talk through what that might look like in practice for you. At the end of the year or mid-year or actually periodically, you would be monitoring to say, as a team, how far have we gone in achieving these team objectives? That's one. But two, each person on the team then gets appraised on their level of teamwork and collaboration within the team.
That's so powerful. I was just thinking about the camera crew here.
Okay.
So there's a light guy, there's a sound guy,
Okay.
there's a floor guy, there's a director, there's a producer.
Okay.
A lot of times you notice everybody's fighting their own corner. Once the sound is great, I'm okay. Once the light is great, I'm okay. So you're right. If we said, you know what, sound is great, light is great, floor is okay, but there's something wrong with what we saw on TV.
So what would be their team objective? How would you define it for them?
So the show must go without any production hitch.
There you go.
The right camera angles, the right shots, right, text.
There
And there are some things that weld together. So I'm very happy you're saying this. So it means that at the end of the day, we can evaluate the whole team.
Yes.
And it's possible for individuals to also do the right things.
Yes.
But because we're not working collaboratively, you will still have a poor outcome.
If there was a hitch, then you're all responsible.
Because a good example is, let's assume the floor manager wants to bring something to the host.
Okay.
Right? And then she informs somebody up there, but doesn't inform another person behind the camera. He doesn't adjust his camera right, and then you have a problem.
Interdependence.
It's very, very critical.
Do you see?
Very powerful.
So when people, but it really takes shifting their minds
Yeah.
because, as you said, most people are just focused, is my lighting right? Is the sound right? Is my camera right? Their own little thing. That's starting to say that, yes, I will ask you about the lighting, but I am also, all of you together, I'm going to say, did you achieve? How many shows went off without a hitch?
And this is very important for large organizations like, for example, for our business. A lot of times you have tensions between programs and sales. Do you get it? Because they sort of solve for different things. One depends on the other, though.
Yeah.
So it's very important for people in programs to know that at the end of the day, it's not about how great the program is. It also has to sell.
Yes.
Right. And then the sales guys will have to know that selling is great, but there has to be a certain raw material to sell.
Yes.
There's always tension there. So it's a very, very powerful point to
So
make.
you know what you would add to the team objective, in addition to having flawless production, how well they collaborated with other teams. Because this is the other thing I find in organizations. You have silos. Huh?
Yes.
So you might have a fantastic, as you said, programs team, fantastic marketing team, but they're not speaking to each other. But if you add it to their team objective, they will organize themselves to say who continuously has to speak to that one, who has to speak, so that you are not just having strong teams, you're also having strong teams working within other teams in the organization.
And I think that depends a lot on the leader and the tone they set.
100%.
Because if you sort of pitch people against each other, then you are making a mistake. So what you try and do is to listen to everybody and say, look, by the way, you guys are on the same team.
Yes.
And then, as you said, you give them, you assess them on collective.
Totally.
Yes, I think it's very, very powerful point.
So that's the third one, yeah?
Collective results.
Then fourth one is coach them, back to your football, coach them to play well together. This is what you were alluding to earlier about, for instance, managing conflicts. Huh?
Yes,
that's the first one, yeah?
Yes, I think that's very important, because when you work in a talent-driven team, there's a lot of strong egos.
Yeesh.
And so one of the things you learn to do is to this what's the word to use? You diffuse.
Yeah.
You don't suppress.
No.
Let people
That's
talk.
energy, yes.
But find a way of getting them to work together. I think it's actually a very strong leadership challenge.
Yes. And skill that needs to be developed,
Yes.
therefore.
Yes.
Facilitating. Because we always say in our world that conflict is not necessarily bad. It's how it's managed. Because conflict is natural. So therefore, a key leadership skill then, as you said, is to manage it, not put it under the table. Because what I see often in many of our organizations, particularly in an African context, we like this, what do we call it? I call it fake harmony.
Yes.
Where everybody says, hey, it's okay, it's okay, we're all fine.
They are underlying issues.
You step out of the meeting room, and then there's all the gossiping in the corridor. And so I think a key skill is to bring corridor conversation on gossip from the corridor to the boardroom or the proper formal space, so it can be dealt with in a healthy way. That's something that one has to do to build a winning team, as you coach them to play well.
Talking about coaching, I saw a very interesting quote about I think it's an American football team, and I think that the person said, good coaches have a pre-game plan.
Okay.
Great coaches do halftime adjustments. Thought I was
it's amazing because things happen. So you might realize I need a time adjustment to be able to deal with this issue. But you notice we're using the word coaching.
Yes.
Because there are different times where you might need to be directive as you're setting the vision.
Okay.
But when you're getting people to play well, yes, you may have to say you play this or you're out in terms of values. But there's a lot about understanding people, facilitating them, as you said, giving them space to speak, unearth issues. Otherwise, if you're just all about commanding, you push things under the table.
Are you distinguishing coaching from, say, managing? Is that what are you using coaching in a more what
as a
sense?
leadership? I'm using it as a leadership style.
Okay.
So, for instance, if you clearly see, if I see there's something going on with Bernard and Kojo, and then I'm not meaning you guys stop it. What will they do? They'll just cover up and they'll never let you see what's going on. But if I call them back in, a coaching style, you start with questions. Guys, what's going on? I want to hear you each. Then I ask them, how do you think you need to solve this?
Okay.
Do you see? So that's a lot more of a coaching style, which is useful when you want to get to the bottom of issues.
The question there, though, is a lot of leaders have many battles they fight.
Yeah.
So he's in charge of a small fintech.
Yeah.
He's dealing with government regulation.
I know.
The tax guys are on his neck, right? He strategizes with his team and he believes they know where the business is going.
Yeah.
He says, I don't need this at this time, right?
Yeah.
I have a
So
big
many
meeting with some guys who want to give us money,
Yeah.
and my two managers can't work with each other. Like you're saying, be collaborative, coach them.
I know.
I don't
It takes
have time.
time.
Like, why do I have to
feeling.
stop this big deal and kind of ask the two of you like kids? You know, it's almost like I just want you to emphasize the importance of that, because a lot of leaders feel like I don't have time for this.
Yes. And then they don't, and then it's like sharpening the saw.
Yeah.
when you have a winning team,
Yeah.
it's like you have a sharp saw
Okay.
to achieve the results. Huh?
Okay.
When your people are busy fighting,
Mhm.
undermining each other, it's like you're working with a blunt saw. So yes, I fully appreciate you're busy, it's annoying, it's irritating, but it's worth it in terms of the better use. It's worth it in the long run. Let's call it that way. In the short run, it's expensive, but it's worth it in the long run. But let me emphasize this. Remember I talked in the beginning about at some point you might need to get people off the bus.
Yeah.
You coach, but not forever.
Okay.
Not forever.
Okay.
You coach in the beginning, but you're clear at the end. You're like, guys, this is how we roll around here. These are our values in this company. So I'm supporting you to work this out, but in what? In a week, 2 weeks, I don't need to see this again. And if I see this behavior continuing after
So
again,
that's more intuitive. You know when this is.
Yes, yes.
So maybe they cross a line or it just
That's
gets in.
it.
It's not working.
That's it. That's it.
not working.
And as you do that, please document. Keep
Yes.
writing, because you
Yes.
don't want to get into trouble.
So you have memos, you have. So
Yes.
you need to. You don't just arbitrarily just
No,
get up.
no.
Of course, there are some offenses that you know. Theft,
Sure,
you're
sure,
going, abuse.
sure,
But
sure.
you're saying that if it has to do with people's fit,
Yes.
you have to
Exactly.
find-
Document. Show that you've coached. Show that you've tried. But it has to end at a certain point if it's
And I
not
actually
fitting.
feel like I say, sometimes when you do it well, the person actually will thank you because there are instances where this person doesn't fit into this organization,
Totally.
but they feel like they have to work here because that's
Yes.
the only opportunity they have.
Yes.
If you do it properly, one day they'll come back and say, "Look, it was very good. You fired me because it helped me rethink."
Yes.
So I think that's a very important
Yes.
process that should not be mismanaged.
That
Of course,
shouldn't be
you can't cuddle
mismanaged.
people throughout, but you have to. Anyway, so this is point number 4. Coach them well to play together.
Yes.
And then, of course, communication is critical.
Yes, communication is critical. We've talked about clear values and expectations for all of them, yeah? Let me come to the last one.
Yeah.
It's something you've alluded to. It's
Okay.
creating a conducive environment for them to thrive. And let me give you an example. I worked with a team leader once who, she had an absolutely amazing team, collaborating fantastically. But they worked in a bigger company that was literally cutthroat, competitive, toxic, undermine. So each time the team would try and do things differently, they'd get back into the bigger, company atmosphere, and they'd be like, nah, this is not working. Yeah? The other thing that they would also see is that, just what you alluded to, you're saying, as leaders, you have to set the tone for what needs to happen within other teams. So we talked about breaking silos. So having different departments start to work with each other. If they can see that within the senior management team, they are not working together, they are not a team, why do you expect that the
lower
different...
guys to work.
Exactly, yeah? So the conducive environment means, one, you model it right from the top, but the broader organizational culture has to be one that's collaborative and rewards collaboration. It's not rewarding the divas, what did you call them? The ones who are always the prima donnas. If people start to see that that's what's rewarded in the organization, and collaboration is seen as, you are a wuss, why are you even doing that? Who cares about that? Then they won't do that. So it's create an enabling environment for that to happen. Provide resources for the team to succeed, coach them, all of that. So that's the final principle.
So there's a responsibility on leadership, not just the atmosphere, but also the resource.
That's it.
The resources for them to work.
make sure that they thrive. Otherwise, they get frustrated, and they're like, what's even the point? So again, perfect example. You put a team together to organize the staff retreat. You give them no resources, no time, no backing. They'll be like, what's the point? We can't even do this thing well. It's just going to be a failed achievement. So that's the kind of resourcing and support teams.
So you're giving me 5 bullet points for building winning teams. We can just go through for those who tune in late or those who've not been following.
So number 1, get the right people on the bus. Select the right people to be part of the team. Don't just look for expertise and skills. Also look for the right fit in terms of attitude and values. Number 2, get the right people in the right seats. Make sure people are playing to their strengths. They're in the right roles. Number 3, focus on collective results. Don't just appraise people, on their individual, complement by ensuring they're praised against team collaboration and achieving things collectively. 4, coach them to play well together, particularly paying attention to things like conflict. And 5, create a conducive environment for them to thrive.
So to end, of all the things a company has, from the idea itself to its physical resources to the product and to its people, would you seriously say that the people are the most important resource?
100%.
You don't even blink an eye?
I don't even blink an eye. I don't even blink an eye. It's all about your people. It is all about
irrespective
your
of the
people.
industry.
Well, no, it depends on the industry. No, for sure. I mean, if your thing is about selling widgets, then maybe it's about the quality of your widgets, but you still need people to sell them.
But generally, you
put them
say that
central. They should always be
people-
central. And so that's why, to me, leadership is about
people. My reflection, I was talking to the team last week, and it just occurred to me that of all the resources of a company, people are the only resource that appreciates. And I was saying that, for example, if you bought a car or you built a studio or you bought a camera, as soon as you buy it, it begins to depreciate.
That's
But the only thing that, so you could pick somebody who started out as a security guy, you train him to do floor management, now he's a camera guy, he's a director. So in 10 years, you've added value to the person. So I was like, if human beings are the most important resource, they basically means they are the ones that can appreciate in value.
But the key word is they can.
If you
do the right thing, if you have the right leadership like you have done.
Yes.
But I have
We
walked
try.
into
It's not
companies.
easy.
It's not easy, I
it's
know.
not. We try.
But you walk into companies and people have depreciated.
That is funny, because for me, I would have said that if you are in a company that's not adding value to you, you have to leave.
But you
Or if
know
you're
the
not
reality
growing-
of the economy. People will always say, but
if you're not growing in an organization, then you have to have an exit plan.
I agree.
You know what I mean? So because my personal view is that there's always somewhere that you will thrive.
For sure.
And the point is that you may not always start from there.
Sure.
So you could be in an organization that has nothing to do with your skill sets, but there are a few things you have to learn.
Sure.
So you can still give off your best.
Sure.
But
And you can still be willing to learn and look for
Exactly.
opportunities.
Yeah.
Because to me, progression and appreciation is
Yeah.
not necessarily about always moving up. Because with SMEs, we're fairly flat.
Yeah.
How many levels can you actually move up? But if you're learning new things, if you're gaining exposure, if you're not the same person you were 5 years ago, then you can say you've appreciated.
I set out to interview you, but it looks like you've interviewed
Yes,
me.
I have. It's always a joy.
That was your plan.
That was my plan.
Anyway, it's a good idea because sometimes in discussions more insights come up.
Yes.
I've been talking to Taka Awori of Busa Africa. Before you go, though, how can people get in touch with you? What's your
Okay.
website? How can people reach you?
So it's busara-africa.com. And do connect with me also on social media, LinkedIn, Twitter, all using my name.
So that's TAAKA Awori.
Yes.
And Busara, BUSARA, Africa.
Africa.
Dash is very
Yes,
important.
Africa.com.
Wonderful. Thank you for listening
Thank
to
you.
another edition of the show. My name is Bernard Avle.
If you want a British degree from a world-class university at a fraction of the cost, then join Lancaster University Ghana right here in Accra. With a diverse student community, vibrant campus life, and 50% scholarship to support your study, Lancaster University Ghana provides you with a world-class education that creates endless opportunities globally. Don't miss this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Apply to join Lancaster University Ghana, where learners become leaders. Admissions are currently open for our October 2023 intake. Apply now for our foundation and undergraduate programs. For more information, contact us on +233 030 221 8989 or send an email to admissions@lancaster.edu.gh. Lancaster University Ghana, the only British university campus in West Africa.
So
Swiss Cupcake, another quality product from Trillium Industries. McBerry, the original.
This advert is FDA approved.
Business today can be overwhelming. That's why you should partner with CowBank Business Banking to get the support you need.
CowBank Business Banking offers small and medium enterprises a wide range of strategic solutions to support your business efforts. Get financing to improve cash flow, funding for import and clearing of goods, invoice discounting, and funds for local purchase orders to keep your business going and growing. You also get to enjoy the benefits of CowPay, giving thousands of CowBank customers access to your products and services right from their mobile devices. There's a solution for every business with CowBank Business Banking. Call CowBank and get support today.
CowBank, forward together. The decision-making power of owners of a family business is profound. Therefore, the need for family business governance as a key strategy for continuity. Ravens Consulting GH presents Africa Family Business Summit 2023 with the theme Family Business Governance, a key strategy for continuity. The date is on 29th and 30th June 2023. Speakers for this year's summit includes Mrs. Audrey Jo Ezigbo, Professor Martin Rowe, and many other speakers. Then your convener, Dr. Dennis Oteng. Venue, Kimpesi Gold Coast City Hotel, Accra, Ghana. Time, 3 p.m. for day 1 and 8 a.m. for day 2. To register, call 0202-712-647 or visit our website www.ravens-consulting.com/AFBS/ It's Africa Family Business Summit 2023. Partners, SEBS Africa, Randem, IOD Ghana. Other events, sponsors, La Bianca, GDC, Henley and Partners, Legacy Institute of Family Business, KED Wealth. This event is powered by Ravens Consulting GH.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show. The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is Citi.
Some girls nowadays, them ask for some cryptocurrency. It's a different thing how we do in the 21st century. She said, when we get the money call anytime and it is an emergency. Before you can take care of it. Give me my money, man. We on a new level now. 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 We on a new level now.
I don't really care what people say. Welcome back. 9:55. Music coming from Kwame Eugene and Rotimi for this one, cryptocurrency. Before we head out, there were a few announcements. In line with the government of Ghana's digitalization agenda, First Atlantic Bank's collection platforms provide corporate institutions, SMEs, and individuals easy and convenient payment services for the following: GRA payments and government agencies, postpaid and prepaid ECG payments as SNIT Tier 1 pension contributions. No more waiting in queues or dealing with complicated forms at government offices. Our collection platforms make payments easy. Say goodbye to the stress and hassle of payments and switch to First Atlantic Bank's payment platform today. First Atlantic Bank, refreshingly different. Standard Water has been giving us water for over 25 years. They are in 11 regions and they are expanding. And they've got water that's available for purchase from supermarkets, retail shops, and delivery trucks. Call Standard Water on 0202 055703 or 0547 334385. Old Mutual is 10 years old. Join them to celebrate a decade of greatness. They have a superior customer service platform. They've got 16 hours, call center that runs for 16 hours, and a WhatsApp chatbot and a self-service portal for easy accessibility. Call Old Mutual on 0501 579 204. Visit oldmutual.com.gh for more info. Old Mutual do great things every day. Now, the GRA is reminding all tax agents, all withholding tax agents, including VAT withholding agents appointed by the Commissioner General, that withholding taxes must be paid to the Domestic Tax Revenue Division of the GRA by the 15th of every month. So withholding taxes for May will therefore be due today, the 15th of June 2023. Get in touch with the GRA. Visit taxpayersportal.com to file your returns there. And you can get to the GRA at info@gra.gov.gh or WhatsApp 0552 990 000 or 0200 631 664. Now, on the 20th of June, Climate change will be the main heart of the second edition of the Environmental Sustainability Summit. This year's theme is climate change and its impact on food systems and sustainable environment. It's happening at the Alisa Hotel Ridge in Accra, Tuesday, January 20, time 9 a.m. Now, the impact of climate change on global food systems cannot be overemphasized. That's why we are having this conversation. Now, the second edition of the Environmental Sustainability Summit is powered by the BNFT with support from BOST, Ghana Ports and Harbour Authority, Unilever Ghana, Minerals Income and Investment Fund, and Access Bank Ghana. Media partners Happy FM, ETV Ghana, Citi FM, YFM, and Asasi Radio. Call 020-945-7427 for further details. ECG is gone cashless. The ECG is saying that download the Power app and you can conduct your business with them anytime, anywhere. You can top up credit for your smart prepaid meter. You can access payment from mobile money wallets, Visa and MasterCard for ECG transactions. You can report faults, do all these wonderful things. Call ECG on 0302-611-611. ECG help ECG serve you better. All right, I think we can do a couple of comments. Which we have several people talking about the Momo matter, the loan thing.
Okay, forgive us, Momo. Please forgive us. You were using it as a shorthand, but that's not correct. This one says, I want to keep my name off for this online learning apps discussion. I will be grateful if you can help propagate this message to the institutions for them to be clamped down. This online learning apps publish my pictures to my employers when I didn't even apply for a loan. As we speak, I have lost my job as a result of that. Oh,
that's really troubling.
Oh, that's
right.
troubling.
This one says, let's take a final message.
Okay, this one says, please, unfortunately, people who patronize these loans are artisans who don't even listen to news to even know what's going on. About 80% of these artisans are introduced by their peers who just listen to their peers, the experiences they have, and they don't get to read the agreements. Unfortunately, they are not even listening to these insightful discussions. And before we go, let me say a happy birthday, a 70th birthday to Mr. Magnuson. We wish you God's blessing, long life, good health, and prosperity. From Mrs. Margaret Magnuson, the children, grandchildren, and the entire family. Also from Friends of Ebenezer Presbyterian Men's Fellowship. And it's coming in from my good friend, Richard. Yeah, so that's what it is. We're done for the day.
Yep. We're back tomorrow.
Yeah, we're back tomorrow.
Edition of the Citi
God willing, we'll be
Breakfast
back
Show.
here.
To do it for God and country, for the Republic.
Council. Council is okay. Hire Kwai home.
Coming up is the news at 10. How has the details?
Good morning, Nathan. Coming up, Minority in Parliament demands answers